can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could take
Hello, beauties. What is it today? Happy Sunday. How's everyone? Let me go out and come back in again. You guys might be able to hear me good. I don't know, but I just want to make sure. So let me back out. Okay? Okay. How's everyone? I hope everyone's having a good day. I'm always excited to be here with you guys so we can talk and have fun. We always have a blast. Hey, Vito's mama, outside the box with Chloe. Hey, X Sparkle. Hey, Goose. I'm so sick. Star party go. Hey, how are you doing? I like your name. Hey, Louisiana. Hey, Faith, Kit Kat, Princess Chicken, Phoenix, Brenda, Stranger Clegan. Mama's the boss, and that's right. That's always right. Mama's the boss. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Sweet Tea. Hey, Teaya. Hey, Princess Chicken. Hey, Autistic Show. Felony Melanie. Jamie, always good to see you. Shine. The Best Mama Bear. Sweet Tea. Big E. Alberta and Stella, always good to see you. Queen Mike or Mick, I could be saying that wrong. 925. I hate peas. Hey, Manny behind the mic. Hey, MGL, is it Banditos? Hey, little Texan. How's everybody doing? Did you guys have a good day today? What did you guys do today? I literally didn't do anything today. It's Sunday, and Sunday's always a relaxing, laid back day for us. But tomorrow we have to go look for new beds for my two boys. So that's always fun, right? That's it. But my kids have 8 days till they go back to school. So it's kind of a bittersweet feeling. I'm kind of ready. Being a stay-at-home mom is not easy, y'all. Okay. But those of you who are new here, my name is Tia Symone. And on this channel, we do commentary mostly and makeup. And hopefully you like what you hear, you like what you see. We always keep it respectful in the chat. Good people over this way. All right, so I wanted to talk about something different today. And here's how I'm going to do this. I am going to show you guys the accusations. Some of you guys probably already know who this is. There's a lot of, this woman is definitely under fire. I want to hear what you guys think, but I am going to tell you guys why she's under fire, some of the things that's been happening with this woman, and then that's when we will talk about our opinions, and I will tell you guys my opinion and what's been my opinion from the very beginning, because I think this is all nonsense, okay? Like that stupid nonsense channel. Anyway, they're not credible in my opinion, and I proved it yesterday. I know I just heard the horrible news. My condolences to, how do you pronounce her name? Kylie or Kelly and her family. I wish them nothing but the best. I hope justice is served, and I hope they find who did this to her. I'm not sure the specifics behind it, but I know that there's a lot of people covering this case and that are probably devastated. But my condolences to her family, because so young, and I was praying that they would find her safe and sound. You know what I mean? I was praying that she was still here. So I pray for her family. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And I hope that they find comfort during this difficult time. I pray they find comfort. So my condolences to her family, and rest in peace. And I'm sure she's going to be very, very missed. Okay, did you send it to my email, Jaleesa? All right, so I want to talk about this woman because I feel it's important. And I think one of the most important things about this is I'm tired of this shit happening. And then it just makes me mad. And I'll show you guys everything that makes me mad. Hey, the Magician's Manor. Welcome. It's always good to see you. Okay, so I'm going to start off by pulling this up and going from there. So the woman that I'm going to talk about today, her name is All In with Ari, however you want to pronounce it. She is 32 years old, very, very attractive woman. And she is from Arkansas, but she recently, I don't know how long ago it was, I'm not going to get everything right. If I'm wrong about something, you can correct me in the comments if you're familiar with this. But she's from Arkansas. She moved to California, Southern California, and she's living in her car. One day she decided to pick up a camera and film herself because she said she was very depressed and feeling down on herself. She decided to film herself in her car and talking about how she is homeless. Nobody is going to tell me that she never said she was homeless. I hear some people out there saying she never said she was homeless. Yes, she did. She said very clearly that she is homeless. And, oh, thank you, Deb. I love you, sweetie. And the whole situation is absolutely ridiculous to me. But of course, it's going to be dragged on and dragged on. And in a lot of ways, I understand why. But in the same sense, I still think, I'll tell you what I think after. But anyway, she did say she was homeless. She lives in her car. Very attractive woman. She talks very much about how attractive she is. And recently she's come under fire because she literally is not homeless. And it has been proven that she is not homeless. So I'm going to introduce you guys to her. Some of you guys may have seen these. Some of you have not. Remember, all opinions are always welcome in the comments. It does not matter. I always want to hear people's opinions and what they think, even if it doesn't match with mine. I always want to hear what people think about things. And if you can make me think critically about this, go for it. I always think critically, but if you can get me to see a different side of this once I tell you my opinion, go for it. Okay. So, 1 second, I'm going to pull something up.
Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. My name is Ariana, and I am homeless. I will be
There you go. She just said she's homeless. That's Ari, All In with Ari, and this is the first video that she decided to get on her camera and talk about being homeless, living in her car. As you can see, she's very, very cute. And looks like she has a nice car there too. She's gonna tell you the rest of her story. She grew significantly fast. She grew very, very fast, to be honest with you. Her first video, this first video that was made was July 23rd, 2022. Okay, which is a month ago. Right now, this woman is sitting on 80,000 plus subscribers. So that should give you some indication how significantly fast she grew, especially here on YouTube. That's rare. Okay. Now let's be clear here. Okay. I want to be very clear. This would not have blown up as much as it has. People would not be constantly talking about this woman if she wasn't young and attractive and also white. Sorry, it's just the truth. She is a very, very attractive person, female, and she's young. And she very much openly talks about how men hit on her constantly, blah, 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 blah. And that's great. She's an attractive woman. Men, I would assume men would hit on her. But one thing I will say is nobody would be talking about her like this if she wasn't cute. Basically, that's it. You see your picture pop up, you say, what's that cute girl doing living in her car and she's homeless, right? So that, I wanted to tell you that this video right here went viral. It has 1.7 million views on this video alone. Okay, so that shows you she has grown significantly fast. This video went viral fairly fast. And yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you guys. So I will continue with this.
Will be 32 this Monday, the 25th of July, and I won't be celebrating. I don't have any family or friends. I do have a full-time job, and I live in my car, and I have lived in my car for the last 7 months now. There's that. It's lonely. It's definitely lonely.
Okay. So yeah, I want to start off by saying this. I can tell you what right now, and what I could see by watching her and the research that I've done, I feel this woman is very, very manipulative. I can tell that this is not her real voice. This is the way she's making her voice sound. Okay, for one. For two, also, she is very religious. I'm a religious woman. So what I have noticed about some creators, you guys, and especially creators like her, is that a lot of creators will use religion to manipulate their audience, and I think that they use religion and it makes them look like they're so very nice and just dedicated to God, and they look to God for all their answers and things like that. But I want to be clear here. That's not always what it seems. Just because, and another thing that I've noticed, even when it comes to religion and me being religious myself, what I do notice about a lot of people, not all people, but a lot of people who are very religious, can be very naive. Okay. And sometimes that can be taken advantage of when it comes to creators like her. The high-pitched voice, talking about how lonely she is, all of those types of things, that can be very manipulative to her audience, and it makes them feel even more bad for her. Like, oh my God, this poor, young, beautiful woman living in her car, how could this be? And let's be real here. I'm a very open-minded person, even though I am religious. And at the end of the day, I have met atheists who do better things for the world, for society, than people who claim to be Christians. I have met Satanists who do better things for the world and society, and they are not portraying themselves as a different way. You understand what I'm saying? Like, sometimes when you're religious, you can be very manipulative and people fall for it. And that's the vibe that I'm getting from her. Even just from watching her first video, you can just tell. Not all religious people or people who claim to be Christian, what I mean to say, are necessarily good people. And that's why I say that sometimes people who are religious and Christians can be very naive and easily manipulated, and creators who may not be as religious as they seem can be very manipulative towards their audience. And to me, the high-pitched voice already is a red flag to me. I can already tell that's not her real voice, but that's just my opinion. Okay.
But I am also a very introverted person, so it's only lonely occasionally. I'm actually enjoying it because I have all this freedom and solitude, and I make my own rules. And
I don't think I have an accent. Sometimes the Chicago accent comes out of me a little bit, but That's it, runs with scissors, unless you're talking about her. I'm not sure.
I'm not bound to a mortgage, so there's a lot of upsides to it. But I'm not gonna lie, it gets difficult. I mean, this is my home. This is where I live, that's where I sleep. Yeah. I could go into my story of how I got here, but I think I'm gonna save that for another video. The reason why I actually wanted to post a video was because I have been feeling pretty down lately this last month about my situation, just kind of in my own head, thinking a lot of negative thoughts, rethinking my life. And I got on YouTube and I started out searching for videos on depression because I was hoping that maybe something would just uplift my spirits a little bit. So I actually came across some videos about homeless people and homelessness awareness, and one in particular called Invisible People. And that caught my attention because that is exactly how I feel. I feel invisible. And then I started listening to these people's stories and really change your perspective. But I could relate with a lot of these people. I might not be living on the streets of LA, but...
Good point. I was wondering that too, my 2 cents. If that's a Tesla, to me that looks like a very nice car. Okay. It is, it's a very nice car, but I don't know what the hell kind of car it is. If it's a Tesla, I think she loses all arguments like immediately. And I just cannot believe that people believe this woman. But let's continue with this because this is only short. This is just a short clip.
But I'm living in my car in Southern California and live, well, different cities around where I work. I have to park in different places every few nights. It's not safe. I wake up to gunshots and sirens and screaming, all sorts of crazy things at night, so I sleep pretty lightly. It's one incident where I didn't have my car locked, and it was in the middle of the night, and I was in the front seat where I'm sitting, and I was changing, and I didn't have bottoms on, and this guy opens my door, just wide open, and he saw me, and he saw that I was half naked, and he just kind of stood back.
You see, here's the problem I have with this. There are so many red flags just in this first video alone. The fact that she's even talking about this and, you know, talking about how somebody's seen her, well, maybe you shouldn't have parked where you parked. But at the end of the day, telling these types of stories is just to gain empathy. That's all that is. Let's be real. Good point, Magician's Manor. That's what I wanted to say as well. You're from Arkansas. You moved to LA, okay? LA is one of the most expensive places to live in America, okay? It's very expensive to live in LA. It's very expensive to live in California, period. My brother lives in California, but he's very wealthy, so that's okay. He can live there, but if you're somebody that has no money, LA would be the last place that you would want to live, okay? And another red flag is she did say she has a job. You have a job, you have a car. So I'm not saying that means, okay, that she may not be struggling, but to say that you're homeless, to me, that's a stretch. Dave says, wait, I swear I've heard that story from a totally different person. You probably have. You find a clip, Dave? Send it to me. Please send it to me.
And I was scared to death. I didn't say anything. I was in total shock. I didn't move. I didn't know what he was going to do. I was terrified. Luckily, I think he was just as much in shock as I was. I don't think he was expecting somebody to be sitting in here. I think he was going to jack my car or try to. But in that moment that we were both shocked, I just I reached over and grabbed my door and pulled it shut really fast, and I didn't drive, and I drove off as fast as I could, half naked still, but I just wanted to get to a safe place. That was only like the only crazy incident that I've had so far, but that was my dumbass fault. I didn't have my car door locked.
Yes, when she lived in Arkansas, I think she lived with her parents, if I'm not mistaken, but regardless, the reason why, and I'm going to show you in this next clip, that she left where she was and moved to California, which that was still her choice, though. Mama's the boss. She still chose to go to California. She didn't have to go to the most expensive place to live in the world, almost. She didn't have to go there. She chose to. But the point is that there's a lot of things that are coming out about her now. But what I will tell you is her story is that she was in a DV relationship and she is on the run. Well, not on the run, but she left to go somewhere else. Obviously, she escaped her DV relationship, and I empathize with that. I've been in a relationship like that, but here's the thing: you're going to live somewhere else because you're in a DV relationship, but yet you now have 80,000 people subscribe to you. You don't think he's going to find you? You're on YouTube. You have 80,000 people now. Your video went viral. So therefore, I would think that means that, you're not so, it's not a secret. Most women in a DV relationship that's trying to get out of a DV relationship, they are not going to be so very public with their life. They wouldn't even want to, if you're trying to get out of a DV relationship, you wouldn't even want to be seen. Okay. You're going to try to keep as much anonymity as you can so your partner who inflicted those things upon you doesn't find you. Okay. You're not going to go filming yourself and being so very public with your life if you're trying to escape that kind of relationship. You know what I mean? Like most women, talk to any woman who has escaped, and thank God I didn't have to be in that situation because I had parents who were able to help me. But in the same sense, in her case, you left, but you don't think he's going to find you? You're very public now. You're very public with your life. So that's what I'm saying. That doesn't add up. That doesn't make any sense. You always have to look at things critically, you guys. Question everything, especially when it comes to something like this. Like, you want to believe this, but this is the type of stuff. This is the type of stuff that makes me really mad, because then it makes it hard for the people who really are going through those types of things. You know what I mean? Alberta and Stella says, I'm a survivor and still hiding 35 years later. And I'll pray for you. I'm so happy that you found peace. Thank God. And yeah, you're not going to go public and have a huge platform already when you're trying to escape something like that. Most women who are on the run from something like that, they're not going to be public. They're going to be very private, for themselves, for their safety. So no, that just doesn't add up with me either. So hold on, I'm going to bring up something else.
I didn't officially meet
Okay, I have two different videos. Sorry, you guys. I want to show you guys something because there's another part of this that you have to pay attention to what people say. If you don't pay attention to what people say, especially when it comes to things like this and questionable things that just doesn't make sense, you have to listen to the things that they say, because there's something that I noticed with her. Okay. She says that she is homeless and she lives in her car. Well, in this specific video that I'm pulling up here, it's her talking about another homeless woman. Okay. And how this woman was hungry and she was trying to get her help, and she went and got her some food and gave it to her. But she referred to homeless people as they, or they are. If you're homeless yourself, you're not going to refer to homeless people as they or their. You're going to refer to them, including yourself, as we. Pray for us homeless people, because it's very hard out here. It's just something that I feel is very, very important. I don't know how old her son was. That's something else that we will talk about in a minute. But I'm not sure how old he is now. He's 9 now? Okay, he's 9 years old.
Girl. And
Sorry, you guys. Hold on one second. I don't know. This is the wrong clip, I think. But anyway, this is her talking about a homeless girl that she went to go help. And turns out that this homeless girl didn't want her help. She went to get her food, everything like that. This homeless girl didn't want her help. So she was very upset, and she just kept referring to homeless people as they, their. And because she kept saying that, to me, that was another red flag for me, because I felt like if you're homeless, you wouldn't be referring to homeless people as they or their. You would be referring to them as we. We struggle out here. Please, pray for all of us. That's not what she said. which it may be something that I could be looking too deep into, but in my opinion, I found that to be very weird. And she does talk about her life, like with her father and with her mother, all of those types of things. But I did notice that she grew up in a very big house. Very big, actually. I will show you guys just to show you. Yeah, it's a pretty nice big house. And it just seems to me that very weird that she acts as though, I don't know how to describe this woman. Hold on. But she acts as though she had a very, very hard life. And maybe she did. Maybe she did. And I'm not even going to sit here and say that she wasn't in a DV relationship. But always remember, you guys, that there's two sides to every story. And we don't know her ex's side of the story. Where the hell is that house at? When you get so many damn screenshots that you get lost. I need to start organizing my computer better because I suck at organization, you guys. I really do. But anyway, to me, it looks like a very, very big, nice home that she grew up in Arkansas. But she is looking to buy a new Mercedes van. Exactly. That's how this whole thing started. So recently, All In With Ari has came under fire for a lot of things. One, she went to a Mercedes-Benz store, and she has been very vocal that she wants to live the van life. Now, we all know about the van life, right? A lot of influencers do that. A lot of creators, they do those. Like, they love to live the van life, kind of like hippie and, living in the world free, going from city to city, state, whatever. The one thing I don't like about creators that live the van life is I just wish that they would show, like I said, we as creators, we only show you what we want. And I just wish that they wouldn't glamorize it so much, because it's not all as it seems. And I've definitely heard a lot of creators say that it's not easy to live the van life. And a lot of creators makes it look very glamorous, and it's not so glamorous. Her living in her car, and then you go to a Mercedes-Benz store to look for a van, that's when people started looking at her sideways. Then she states that a lot of places are calling her now. Squid Games, I guess they are now having a TV series or something, maybe a reality show, and they asked her, she wanted to be a part of it. There is some show on Showtime that asked her if she wants to act in some part of that. So she basically says that she's getting a lot of calls to be an actress, okay? And a lot of people then started digging up on this woman because things aren't adding up. But see, here's the thing. In my opinion, I would never have given her the time of day to begin with. I would have watched the first video and I would have been like, okay, she's lying. Bye. I'm sorry. I cannot believe that it has even went this far, because I would never believe that woman that, first of all, if you're living in a car, it looks like you're living in a nice car. In my opinion, you have a job. This woman has made thousands and thousands of dollars, you guys. You have to understand, okay? This video that she has that went viral has 1.7 million views and counting, okay? So that means she's earning a lot of revenue off of that one viral video, okay? And then add up all the other videos that she has. where she's earning a lot of revenue on that. Then she has a Patreon. Okay, so she is losing Patreon members. I think she had like maybe, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 followers or whatever. So she had a Patreon. Then she has a Cash App, okay, and a PayPal. People are sending her money there. Imagine how much money she has accumulated since the first day she went viral on July 22nd. She is making a lot of money, you guys. Why do you think she went to the Mercedes-Benz store? Because she can afford it. She quit her job. Okay, one day she just came on video, said she quit her job and she is going to do YouTube full time. And that also had people looking at her sideways. And then people started digging up her past. And there are a lot of things going on in her past that are very questionable, but yet you still have people that are making excuses for this woman and saying she's a Christian. I guess she has a gym membership, but I wouldn't even notice those things because that's how she says she takes care of her personal hygiene. She goes to the gym, she takes a shower, things like that. But I would be questioning the fact that she has a Starbucks cup every fucking day. If you are homeless, why in the hell would you be worried about some damn Starbucks? I'm sorry, a homeless person is not going to have Starbucks every day. They're just not. Starbucks is expensive. Okay? And especially for someone who is homeless. Now, mind you, she did have a full-time job that she quit to do YouTube full-time. Now she's getting all these acting jobs, and people started calling her a grifter, a fraud, okay? And a lot of people are proving that she is, which I knew from day one of watching her video. I said, this woman is manipulative. She is this. There is a difference, you guys, between being homeless and living in your car for content. Okay? And that's just my opinion. If you're homeless because you don't have a choice. She is living in her car by choice. This is something that she chose to do. You want to know why? Because it's good content. And it prepares her subscribers for her living the van life. It's just preparing them for what's to come. Okay? That's just my opinion. People can disagree with me, but I want to show you guys how she responded to people calling her a grifter, people saying that she's doing this purposely for money. Okay? So I'm going to pull that up. I can't even afford Starbucks and I have a good job. Exactly. See, I can see if she had it once in a while, but the woman damn near has it all the time. When you're homeless, you're not getting Starbucks. You're just not. You're not going to get Starbucks every day. You're not going to have Starbucks in your hand every day. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion, though. She took her Cash App down. I'm going to show you guys her response right now.
%100% honest, I have not touched any of the donation money.
You guys, I hate StreamYard. I really, really do. I have nothing but problems with StreamYard. I'm telling you, I need to find a different app.
I don't claim to be some poor, like, run down living on the streets type homeless person that needs people's money. That's not what this is. That's not what it has ever been about. I never once asked for donations. I don't even ask people to subscribe to my channel or like my videos. The way I see it, if you want to subscribe, great. If you don't, great. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to do what they want to do. I'm not going to try to persuade you.
Okay. So if you didn't want subscribers, then why would you make videos? Anyone who sits here and says that I'd say, and I always tell you guys this, I'd say probably 2 to 3% of people who make a YouTube, they do it as a hobby. They don't care how many subscribers they have. But if you create a channel and you're creating content, you want subscribers, okay? And for her to talk about she didn't ask for people to donate, well, then why did you create a Cash App? Why did you make your Cash App public for your audience if you didn't want people to send you money? That makes no sense.
Or like run down, living on homeless person that needs people's money. That's not what this is. That's not what it has ever been about.
If it's never been about that, then why did you get on your video and say that you're homeless, that it's lonely, and that it's a struggle, blah, 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 blah? If it's not about being homeless, then why did you base your whole channel on you're living in a car and you're homeless? That makes no sense. That's what I'm saying, you guys. Like, something's not adding up with this woman, obviously. Like, you're going to sit here and say that it was never about that. Why? Because you got caught? Or is this woman a fucking plant? Is this some kind of experiment or something? I don't understand.
Never once asked for donations. I don't even ask people to subscribe to my channel or like my videos. The way I see it, if you want to subscribe, great. If you don't, great. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to do what they want to do. I'm not going to try to persuade you to subscribe to me or believe me. I'm a real person, and while I'm getting a lot of great and beautiful and uplifting feedback, I'm also getting a lot of hate as well, which is to be expected. I understand that. Like, that's just like part of YouTube. And it's definitely part of having such a big following. I understand that comes with the territory. I have been real and raw from the start.
No, in my opinion, you guys, I disagree with that. You live in your car by a choice, okay? You chose to come to California, one of the most expensive places to live in America. You chose to turn on your camera and film yourself and say that you're homeless. You can't get out of that now. A person who is homeless does not have a choice. And I know that there are a lot of people who have a lot of opinions about people who are homeless. If I thought for a minute that she was homeless, I would say it. I believe she lives in her car, but she lives in her car by choice, in my opinion. And she lives in her car by choice. She knew exactly what she was doing. If you don't want money, then you're not going to put your Cash App out there. If you don't want subscribers, then you wouldn't be constantly creating content. Now, I'm sure she didn't expect to go viral off of that one video, but you want to know why she went viral? Because she's a very cute woman, okay, who's very young and living in her car and allegedly homeless. So therefore, if people are like, they're intrigued by that, they're going to click on your video like, what is this cute woman who's so cute and could probably get any guy she wants, because that's how people think. Not every person, but majority of people are thinking, wow, like, this poor woman, why is she living in her car, blah, 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 blah. And then you hear her story and then you feel even more bad for her. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Victoria. It says her name is Ronnie M. Okay. That's one thing I don't want. I understand, like, but that's not what she goes by on YouTube. And I know that that's her real name, and a lot of people did research on her, but just try not to say her last name, because it's just, to me, I wouldn't want that being done to me, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But I understand what you're getting at, and I know her real and last name is out there, and I know that it's completely innocent on your part, Victoria. But I don't agree with them putting her last name out there. I don't. And the reason why I don't is because, just like I said, I wouldn't want it being done to me. I do think, for the sake of investigation, and people found out who she truly is, and I think that's great that she's being exposed. But one thing is that they didn't have to put her whole real name out there. That's the only thing that I'm against. But I know it's completely innocent on your part. And thank you so much, beautiful, for the super chat. And it says, her mugshot is all over TikTok. She's a scammer. She needs to be held accountable. She's such a liar and a manipulator. I agree 100%, Victoria. She definitely is shady. And I literally got that from the minute I watched her video. The high-pitched voice, the claiming to be a Christian, blah, 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 blah. I knew from that point on, this woman knows exactly what she's doing, and she's good at it. Very, very good at it. But thank you so much, beautiful, for the super chat. And it's not you at all. I'm not saying you, because you have her last name because other creators put it out there. And it's just something that I am 100% against. I don't agree with them putting her whole name out there. I think they still could have, obviously, they could still talk about her without putting her name out there publicly. Where'd you come across her? Everybody's been talking about her. You go on TikTok, she's all over YouTube. Everyone has been talking about this woman. And to be honest with you guys, I'm really mad about it. And I'll show you guys towards the end some things that I feel are important for you to see. But I'm really upset about it because she's exploiting homeless people. Okay? Do you know how many homeless people are here in America that are doing this by, they don't have a choice? And then you have someone like her who has completely 100% exploited homeless people. And I feel like that's why the one video, hopefully I can bring it back up, the one video where she was talking about how another homeless person, she was hungry, she was digging in the dumpster for food, and she went and got her food, and you could tell she felt bad, and she felt bad that she was exploiting homeless people the way that she is. This woman is doing all of this shit by choice, and it makes me so mad because women like her give people out there who really are homeless a bad name, and makes it look so bad overall. And that's why her car is covered from the inside, not to keep people from looking in, but it's to hide the Tesla. Is it, or I'm sorry, Tesla. Is it a Tesla? Are you guys sure it's a Tesla? I need to see it. I need to see. Homelessness looks different for many. It does. It does. But I don't believe that this woman is homeless. I just don't. Yeah, there's some people that you can meet and never know that they're homeless. There are some people who are a paycheck away from being homeless. And I just don't like that she's exploiting this. Okay, this woman may have been struggling. Don't forget, she chose to come to California. She may have been struggling, but if you have a job and you have a car, that is most than a lot of people here in America have, period. Okay, and the fact that no, you're fine, Victoria. I know that it wasn't you. It's more the people, it's the creators who have done it. That's their choice. I'm not knocking them for it, but it's something that I do disagree with because I wouldn't want it to happen to me. But it's not you, sweetheart. That's not what I meant. I know that you are just giving me information, and I appreciate that. So no, you're fine, sweetie. I think she's exploiting it, and I'm entitled to my opinion. tink tink 05. I'm entitled to it. And I'm sorry. And I'm about to bring up some other stuff too. Creep shows boyfriend hubs, let that be known. Emily Art disclosed that CSA made it seem they had no choice in Magician's Manor. I was homeless and had to bathe in a river. I actually ate out of a trash can that was two ends and MA degree long ago. It was not a joke and hella brutal. Aw, Jubilee. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. My heart and prayers. Thank God you're in a better place now. I definitely know that myself, and you should be proud of yourself that you overcame that. I know with myself and my kids, there are many times that I was probably a paycheck away from being homeless. It was hard. It was a struggle. After I lost my mother, I had nobody. It was hard, and I will tell you guys my story one day. But I don't like this. I don't like this, and I feel like it's exploitative. This woman, she may have been struggling, but you don't go to a Mercedes Benz store to look for a van and claim to be homeless. And if that's the case, then why is she now pulling back? Why is she now saying that technically she wasn't homeless? I'm pretty sure she made some kind of insinuations is that, like, no, I'm sorry. No one's going to be able to convince me. I'm entitled to my own opinion, and I do not feel that this woman is homeless. She is doing this by choice because it's good content. My opinion. And I am allowed to have my own opinion. LA open doors. If you're living in your car, you can go anywhere. Maybe she wanted to be in an area where cold isn't so hard in a vehicle. You don't know her reasons. You are blaming her for a come up. I'm not blaming her for a come up. First of all, I'm not going back and forth with you in the comments. If I open the panel, you can come up on the panel and tell me that. Because I can tell you right now, I am entitled to my own opinion. And I've done my research. And in my opinion, this woman is not homeless. Okay? That's just my opinion. You don't explain to me why she would go to a Mercedes-Benz store then. Explain that to me. I'm not saying that she wasn't struggling when she came here. And I'm not denying that she lives in her car, but she lives in her car by choice. And I'm going to show you guys in a minute. Yeah, I guess she's a high class homeless person. Exactly 9 to 5. That's what it is. That's it.
But the start of it's like people expect me to be down and out every day. Like, yeah, in my first video, I was a little more somber because I was having one of those days. People go through emotions, and it would be asinine to believe that if you're down and out one day, that's how you are every other day. I mean, people are happy some days and they're down other days.
Does anybody know what kind of car this is? Does anybody know? Yes, Tia, I know people in my town that are homeless by choice. It does happen. Yes. In my opinion, this was part of what she wanted to do. And it is good content in my opinion. It is. I lived out of my car for 5 months because I refused to rehome my dog. I never ever called myself homeless. Thank you, felon, glazed, and confused. You're not. Let me show you guys some more stuff, okay? Bear with me here. I'm going to pull it up. Okay, so this is a channel that I've been loving lately, that I've been getting a lot of my information from. I will put his description. I will put his channel in the description. He's amazing. His name is Scott Schaefer, and he has definitely been keeping up with this case, and he makes a lot of great points. So I wanted to let you guys hear a lot of the things that he has to say about what has been found out about her. I think it's important for people to know these things because I'm sorry, people like her make it really hard for other people who are really going through hard times. Because, in my opinion, we are about to go through another reception. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're about to go through a lot of hardships right now because of, finally the gas prices are going down, but they were up for a very long time. Then you have food prices are up tremendously. A lot of people that I have even spoke to are struggling even to buy groceries, you guys. So there's just a lot of things going on right now with the economy and things like that, that it's just important that people know, you guys, scammers are scammers. And in my opinion, I think that this woman is a grifter, and that's just my opinion. And you can respectfully disagree with me if you want to, and I'm cool with that. But you're not going to bash me for my opinion. That's for sure. I am a very, very reasonable person. I look at things critically. I try to look at things from all angles. And everywhere I look, it goes back to something's not right with this woman. And I knew it from the moment I started watching her. So I'm going to play and I'm going to be on mute so it won't echo.
Now, All In with Ari has gone viral on YouTube. Her channel's less than a month old. She already has 83,000 subscribers. Very first video posted 3 weeks ago. Living in my life, homeless in California. Desperate situation, very young, attractive woman, homeless in California. This is a terrible situation, guys. It's gotten 1.7 million views at the time of this video, time making this video. And it's really, a tragic story of this young, beautiful woman who's desperately living in her car with no place to go. The problem is many people believe that this story is fake. Now, since this video has come out, she's put out a Patreon. She has a PayPal account where you can just send her money. Venmo, you can just send her money. She's got affiliate links. She's now, in the partner program in YouTube with 83,000 subscribers. She's making a ton of money from ad revenue. And a lot of the situation around her whole story has kind of unraveled. So in this video, we're going to break down a lot of things that are untrue. So for one, she is not homeless. She has an extensive criminal history. And
Now, this is under fair use for commentary purposes. And I'm just going to let you guys know right here. This woman is not homeless, in my opinion. She lives in her car by choice. If you're living in your car by choice, but you have the money to be able to get an apartment, guess what? You're not homeless. And it should not be exploited in any way, shape, or form. If she didn't want money, then she wouldn't have made her Cash App visible. If she created one, whatever. This woman has made thousands and thousands of dollars. So going to a Mercedes-Benz store should have been the red flag that made you say deuces.
She has apparently abandoned her 9-year-old child. So we're going to be covering all of that and more in this video. So like I said, this is her channel, All In with Ari. First video went viral. I saw it on Reddit. I saw it on Twitter. A lot of people saw this lady's channel. Blew up overnight, which is pretty uncommon on YouTube. And yeah, she got so much money. So many people started sending cash to this young lady. That's just how it is. You see a young, attractive woman, you want to help her out.
Sorry if it's echoing, you guys. I'll mute it. But that's the thing. She's attractive. So it's attracted a lot of people to wonder, oh my God, look at this beautiful young lady. She's living in her car. This is horrible. We all go through, bad times and hard times. I understand that. We all do. But in the same sense, there are just so many people out there that take advantage of other people. And this is not the time to be doing these types of things, period. You should never do these types of things. And I just think that people should know this. And if you choose to believe it, fine. But if you choose not to, that's fine too. And I'm not talking about the kind of car she lives out of. It's not about that. It's about she's living in her car by choice. And just like what he's saying right here, She has made thousands of dollars, you guys, literally. You have to do the math of how many views equal to all that AdSense money of 1.5 million views. And then you have people sending her Cash App, sending her PayPal. Then she has a Patreon. Come on, you guys. Like, you can't ignore that.
A lot of people wanted to help this girl out. She was talking about how she was living homeless, talking about her desperate situation. The struggles out here are very real, guys. It's hard being homeless in California. But then, just within like 2 weeks, things completely changed around for her because so many people are sending her money. And now she's going to Mercedes-Benz to buy a Sprinter van.
I went to Mercedes-Benz. And first of all, I've never been to Mercedes-Benz dealership. But not just any.
As you guys can see, that's what started it. That's what had people looking at her sideways. That's where people were like, huh? You're homeless, but you're going to a Mercedes-Benz store? Okay.
Mercedes-Benz dealership. I got the one in Beverly Hills just because it was the closest one to where I was. So
all right, so this is the van she was looking up. The passenger van starts at $45,000. It can go up to about $80,000 with all the amenities. So if you don't know, Mercedes is actually a luxury car brand. So apparently this woman went from being homeless, being desperate, no place to live, to now buying a luxury van to want to live the van life that a lot of people are living. So a lot of the story just doesn't add up. And if you actually do some research on her, you will actually find some information. So this is her. I'm not doxing her. This is all public information. Anyone can look this up. But her real name is Ronnie Ann Spur. Now, some people are like, why is her name Ronnie? Now, Ronnie primarily is mostly a male name, but there are women.
That's the only thing that I do not agree with. You didn't have to say her whole full name, even though it is public records. That's not the name that she goes by on YouTube. That's the only thing I disagree with, respectfully. But as we'll continue, so you guys can, What's your question? An example of how much her YouTube deposit based her views thus far. What is the mathematical formula to do an estimate? I'm not sure how they would know the full amount unless she showed it. It's not possible. Well, yeah, it would be hard. You can definitely try to estimate, but there's no way that you can have the exact amount of what she's made off that one video alone. But I will tell you that she's earned a lot of revenue. 1.7 million views is a lot of views, and that's a lot of AdSense. So therefore, yes, so she's made a significant amount of money. Even on all of her videos have a good amount of views, but 1.7 million, yeah, that's definitely a good amount of money. And then plus you're getting, people sending you Cash Apps. You have 80,000 subscribers. You can only estimate, but you can't get the exact amount. No, I agree with that, Goose.
Women who are named Ronnie as well. It's not completely uncommon for women to be named Ronnie. And Ronnie, her name is Ronnie because her adoptive father, she was adopted at 2 years old. Her adopted father's name is Ronald. So she was renamed after her adoptive father. That's why her name is Ronnie. She has an extensive criminal history. This is just some of it. She has theft for property, twice for theft for property. She failed to appear in court. She's from Arkansas. She lived in Arkansas most of her life. She's actually originally from Ventura, was adopted, moved to Arkansas, lived her entire childhood through there, and then eventually, just in the past year or so, moved out here to California. Now, if you don't believe this is true, she actually backs up a lot of the story in one of her own videos. This video, How I Got to This Point, we'll watch a brief clip of this, and she actually explains that, yes, some of this is true. She didn't actually acknowledge this is her real name or anything, but you can verify based on the information that she gives that, yes, this is actually her. Her real name is actually Ronnie Spur.
What you doing, watermelons?
So one thing I have to point out,
So because she got monetized, of course she didn't get monetized after her first video. Her first video went viral, tink tink. And when it went viral, she earned more subscribers, which got her monetized. So yes, thank you for pointing that out. I am a creator as well, and you don't get monetized until you get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. She went viral off her first video. So, of course, she got monetized.
After doing a bunch of research for this video and watching all of her videos, She constantly refers to her followers as watermelons at the start of every video. What you doing, watermelons? And it's pretty annoying hearing that over and over. Now, a lot of people online on like Reddit who are calling this lady out, they're calling her followers the money melons because all the people just send a bunch of money to her. So they call her the money melons. I just thought that was something interesting to point out.
But she didn't make money off that first video right away. Right? She didn't. It takes some time. It takes like a month. Yep. Not even a month. How long does it take? A couple weeks maybe? I don't know. Because I didn't go viral. So I have no idea. You know what I mean? I have no idea how long it takes for you to start making money, but that's not the point. I'm not even talking about the money. I'm talking adding that in with the cash apps and how much money she has accumulated since she went viral. Okay. So if she is not accumulating a lot of money, right, then why did she quit her job and say that she wants to do YouTube full time? And why would she go to a Mercedes-Benz store to purchase a van?
I'm back. Okay, so you guys wanted to know how I got here. I want to know how I got here. I was born in Ventura, California. At the age of 3, I moved to Arkansas, and I lived all my life out there.
All right, so there you go. She confirms that, yes, she moved and lived in Arkansas for most of her life. We can confirm that Ronnie Anspur is this actual person. That's her real name, and we know that she has an extensive criminal history.
Now, I'm not without a crystal ball, the biggest judgmental person here on YouTube. I don't normally like to judge people or hold people's past against them. Let's put it that way. But what I will say is if I see somebody on their YouTube and I see a lot of red flags, then I'm going to look to their past, of course. And I'm going to be like, okay, this is a pattern. However, going by somebody's past is not something that I would normally do unless there was a reason to. Okay, I'm not just gonna go and dig up somebody's past and just because, if I didn't get any red flags from her, then I would have just. But of course, some YouTubers, they're investigators. I don't know if he is or not. But then people start digging up a person's past because it's not making sense, the things that they're doing in the present. Tomorrow, since YouTube pays once a month, so this week should be interesting. Right, Pink? She went viral on her first video, and it's getting millions of views. Literally, that is what lots of YouTubers work for. It is. I agree, Raquel. I agree. The point is, it was a scam, and she exploited the plight of homeless people and the generosity of people who want to help those in need. Thank you very much, Deb. I agree 100%. She had a job when starting her channel, then quit when she started getting money. The 21st, yes. The 21st is when you get paid on YouTube. You would think I know. But, I do keep track. But the point is that it's not even just her viral video. It's collecting money off of people under false pretenses, in my opinion. Now she's making more through YouTube. Many people quit jobs to do YouTube full time if it's lucrative. Well, see, here's the thing though, Tink Tink. That's a mistake in my opinion, okay? Because when you go viral off of one video, that doesn't guarantee success of your channel. It doesn't. And the reason why it doesn't guarantee success of your channel is because you don't know if you're going to go viral again, for one. And for two, even if you're continuing making money just off the views you have, which she is, not just off her viral videos. She makes videos like almost every day, I think. So she gets a lot of views from that. But the point is that with YouTube, it's not consistent. Sometimes you're doing really great. Sometimes you're doing really bad. Sometimes people want to give you a chance. Sometimes people don't. Like, it's not guaranteed money here on YouTube, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Unless you have millions and millions of subscribers, like, I don't know, the Ace family, or, you know, Jackie Ayana or Jeffree Star, then that's, to me, that's a little different. But, and even they always have like side businesses. They create side businesses from YouTube or whatever the situation is. But the point is that YouTube is not guaranteed money, in my opinion.
Now, later in this video, she actually goes over the fact that she moved from Arkansas back to California to get out of an abusive relationship.
And the reason I moved out here was because I had to leave the relationship that I was in. I had to leave for my safety. It got so bad that my coworkers were telling me, if you don't get out of here, we're going to see your face on the news.
All right.
And that is unfortunate, you know, and if she's went through that, my heart and prayers go out to her. But here's the thing. When you are, as I said from the very beginning, when you are leaving an abusive relationship and you are escaping that, I commend any woman for having the strength and the courage to do something like that, because it's hard. But you went viral, okay? So if he didn't know where you were, he knows now. A lot of people are talking about this woman. So it's just, that's when I start saying, okay, there's two sides to every story, in my opinion.
All right, so some things to point out about this. A lot of people are saying this is fake, untrue. Now, to play devil's advocate for her, I will say that someone who has an extensive criminal history like she does, these are all cases around things that she has done, which we'll go over. It is possible that someone who has a criminal history probably is hanging out with, you know, a man who also has a criminal history, and that person with a criminal history possibly did some terrible things to her. So that is a possibility that she actually escaped from Arkansas to California to get away from an abusive relationship. That's definitely a possibility. Some things that don't actually make sense. I have actually, you know, talked to women who have gotten out of abusive relationships, and in most times they don't want to publicly be out there so that their abuser can find them. This chick is now famous on YouTube. She is.
Thank you, Scott. Like, I think he's awesome. I think he's fair. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He took the words right out of my mouth. Like, when you are leaving an abusive relationship, and trust me, I know, thank God I had my parents on my side and they were able to get attorneys. I was able to get through it. But what I'm saying is that when you are getting out of a relationship like that, the last thing you're going to do is pick up a camera and start filming yourself. Now, I'm sure she didn't anticipate going viral. I don't think anybody anticipates that. But in the same sense, you did. You know what I mean? So even if I was to do that, like, let's just say I was in her position and I did that. And if I went viral, first of all, I would never do that. Not if I'm escaping that type of relationship. But if I was and I went viral, I'd probably shut that shit down real quick because I would be scared, you know? And it's not a joking matter. I'm just referring to as myself. I would probably panic or shut it down. I would shut down my YouTube. I'd be like, because it just doesn't add up. There's things that just don't add up to me.
83,000 subscribers. She talks about exactly where she is living in Ventura, and now she's living in LA County. She talks about exactly where she is living. If she was trying to get away from an abusive person like she claims in this video, why would she put all this out here that this guy can very easily find where she lives now? I personally don't believe the story. It just doesn't line up in my...
Thank you. Point proven. I'm just saying, that's just the last thing that you would do. And Raquel, I agree with you. Why not keep working, get yourself together, then maybe make YouTube a full-time job? Agreed. That's what I'm saying. When you first start off on YouTube, it's up and down. You're growing subscribers. Like I said, you don't anticipate going viral, so that's great for her. But in the same sense, it's not lucrative, in my opinion, because YouTube is up and down. It's not consistent. It's just not. It's only consistent for people who have like 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. You know what I'm saying? That's when it starts becoming more consistent for you. But how is it all speculation, Tink Tink, when he's literally showing you right in front of your face? This isn't speculation right here. Okay, it's speculation as far as her relationship, but this isn't speculation, the things that he's showing us. This is a fact.
My opinion, for, you know, if she was in an abusive relationship, you would want to hide and get away from that guy. You would not want that guy to know where you are at all. And she's publicly telling everyone, hey, everyone, I'm living right here in Ventura. I just moved to LA County. Here I am with my 83,000 subscribers on YouTube. So a lot of this doesn't really add up. Now, another thing I want to point out is she also goes into the fact that when she moved back out here to Ventura, she had someone to live with, and then she decided to move out. Now she's living in her car, which is a very big different case from what she initially put out in her first video. In her first video, she made it very clear that she was living in her car in desperation. That's all she had left. And now it's clear that she's living in her car by choice, which she has, you know, stated in follow-up videos, right? She has the option to move in other places, especially now that she's making quite a lot of money off of YouTube, off of Venmo, off of Patreon. She has more than enough money to get an apartment, yet she continues to live in her car. This is by choice. She's not homeless. It's not that she doesn't have any money. She is by choice choosing this lifestyle. So Ari, or Ronnie as is her real name, presents herself as this nice, young, lovable girl who's just bubbly and just wants to have a fun time in life. But if you actually look at her, like I said, she has an extensive criminal history. All of these cases are revolving around her. She hasn't done anything like murder anyone or anything, but she has extensive history of theft, of driving a car without a license, of not paying credit card bills, actually not paying ambulance fees, and a bunch of stuff like that. We won't go over all of it because it's a long history, but the most interesting
Novel Idea says because her first car is a Tesla and her second car is a Mercedes. I don't know what kind of car she has. I don't think that she has a Tesla, but I'm not sure. I just heard people saying that, but all I know is she went to a Mercedes-Benz store to purchase a van. If she's told people that she's not broke and it's a choice and people know this and donate, then it's not grifting. I disagree. Tink Tink. Respectfully.
interesting case is this case. And I'll actually have to block a lot of this out because obviously if you don't know my situation with Meet Kevin, they'll claim that I'm showing private information. Again, all of this is public, but I'm going to block a lot of it out just to be safe. But basically, this is a case from 2014. If you don't know, in 2013, Ronnie had a child with a man that she was in a relationship with. They weren't married. They had a child, and they broke up before the child was born. So they had the child. She actually didn't want the father to really see the child very much. And what eventually happened was that they actually got into a custody dispute. Now, what's really interesting about all of this, as I'll show you, is eventually the court system actually sided with the father in this case and actually gave sole custody of the child to the father, which is very uncommon. Now, if you know anything about the American justice system, you know that that's very unusual and that primarily the courts will give primary control or primary custody of the child to the mother. They might give, partial custody, but most of the time the mother will have custody of the children. It's very uncommon that they will give primary or sole custody to the father, and that's actually what happened in this case. So we can go over some of this. You can see that they were talking about the defendant got into an altercation with her mother and was forced to leave their home. You can see that the father is actually claiming that the mother, Ronnie or Ari, has actually been hospitalized for mental issues in the past and has actually tried to perform, you can't really say that word on YouTube, has actually tried to perform self-deletion in the past. That's what the father is claiming. Now, all of this is, in a case, some things that may be untrue have been said in many, many cases involving children in the past. So I'm not saying any of this is true, but this was actually what was said in the case. Now, what's really interesting is here at the bottom, there is an affidavit from Ronald Spur. Now, Ronald Spur, like I said, is the adoptive father of the young woman, Ronnie Spur, who goes by Ari now. That's her father. And he put out an affidavit basically, trying to get custody for the father of the child. So says, I, Ronald Spur, age 74, father of Ronnie Spur, age 23, do hereby states under oath as follows. I have concerns as for the care of my grandson. Date of birth, October 28, 2013. Ronnie Spur is my granddaughter, whom I adopted at age 2. Ronnie has always lived with my wife, her adopted mother, Ann Spur, and I sense that I love my daughter very much.
All of these things are public records. I completely understand. The only thing is that everybody has a past, right? And I understand that. I think the most things that matter is her being a grifter and doing the things that she's doing. As far as her past, like with her father and things like that, I feel like it's irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a past. Everybody does. Her first video was a fluke video. Once people started looking into her is when she started saying she's not broke. She should have said that in her first video. I agree. Then what's the issue? People are paying like any other creator, and people are pulling up dirt from her past, naming her a scammer. Like, no. You're not going to do that. And I'll tell you why you're not going to do that, because that is a completely different situation. And when I can promote my Cash App and my PayPal, but I'm not claiming to be homeless. I'm not claiming to live out of my car. I am not even claiming that I'm broke. So you can't even compare the two. And that's the problem that I have, is that it's people like her that make it harder for people like Miss Letitia. And that's why people are so quick, so very quick to call people scammers, because of people like this woman who has manipulated her audience and has done a lot of questionable things, in my opinion. And now she's starting to backtrack. Okay, that's what she's doing. As far as her past with all those things, I get it. Her father, things like that. I don't think that that's relevant, but I do think it's relevant, a lot of the things that she has done in her past, because it's a pattern up to this point. These are all false pretenses, in my opinion. All of the things that she claimed I don't believe her. I believe she is a grifter. I do.
Much, and I know that she loves her baby and means well, but she's just not very responsible when it comes to the baby's care. After the baby was born, Ronnie has, on at least 3 occasions, in my opinion, acted irresponsibly regarding the care of the baby. Ronnie would simply leave the baby with us and stay gone for a few days without either of us knowing where she was or have any other contact her in case of emergency with the baby, with us for that matter. Recently, Ronnie and her mother, my wife, had an argument, and Ronnie cursed and threatened my wife. I believe that threat was that she would slap the blank face. I was present when this happened. This scared my wife, and Ronnie was asked to leave our home, and we changed the locks to our home. Ronnie, a few days later, came in through the garage by using the garage door opener through my truck when she knew the combination to. She left again when requested. So as you can see, Ronnie has an extensive criminal history, and she no longer has primary care of her child, who would be about 10 years old as of right now. And her child, from what I can find, is still currently living with the father in Arkansas. Ronnie, aka Ari, now lives in California. She's made no mention of ever having a child anywhere in any of her videos. So either two possibilities are happening. Either she's very rich and she has money to fly out to Arkansas every month and go visit her child, or she is no longer visiting her child on a regular basis. Pretty much the only two options. So I do think that's very interesting, as you know, this girl, this young woman who presents herself as this bubbly, nice, lovable girl who's down on her luck, living in California homeless, when that's not the case. She chose to move to California for whatever reason. She claims to be that it was to get out of an abusive relationship. And it wasn't a relationship with the father of her child. That relationship ended a long time ago. But she claims it was to get out of an abusive relationship. But then she's putting herself all over social media, and she has a child, young son, who still lives in Arkansas, that apparently she's no longer visiting. Now, since she started posting on YouTube, she says her life has changed. She's been posting videos about how she's being contacted by people in the TV industry, and they want her to try out for the new Squid Games.
I do want to tell you, just to catch you up a little bit, that I officially quit my job, and I have decided to do YouTube full time. And I moved. I left Ventura County, and now I'm in LA. Yeah, so casting director, producer, person. I don't really know what his title is. But he reached out to me via email, and he offered me an opportunity to be part of Squid Games.
We're going to see in the next clip that I'm going to be showing about where her child is and stuff like that. But what I will say is, I agree. Hey, buddy. She's a very attractive woman, okay? And she seems like she has a wonderful personality. I don't think she had to do all this stuff and under false pretenses, I think people would have definitely responded to her. Do I think she would have went viral? No. But I do think, and I think she knew she was going to go viral. Sorry, that's just my opinion. But I agree 100%. I do think she would have been successful, even if she just would have came on YouTube telling her life, even if she would have said, I'm living in my car for the moment because I don't want to live in an apartment and I'm saving up for a van, but in no way am I homeless. In no way do I not have money in my pocket. This is my choice. I do think people would have respected her more. People would have definitely supported her. I think she would have been successful either way. But to lie, okay, and this is just my opinion, but to lie and say that you're homeless and that you're forced to live in your car, it's exploitative in my opinion, and I don't agree with it. And exactly my reasoning as to why people like her give other people who are not even close to even doing something like that a bad name. They just do. And now I think that's wonderful that she is getting directors are calling her, producers are calling her to be a part of this. That's wonderful. But in the same sense, of course that was going to happen. She went viral and she's out there living in LA trying to pursue an acting career. I think she even said that. I do remember watching this video. I was like, nah, she's not living in a car. Gut feeling. I think a lot of people see things for what they truly are, and some people don't. And I respect everyone's opinion as long as you're being respectful. But in the same sense, it's just, I don't agree with this at all. And it makes me very, very angry. She probably gets a room when she wants. I think she has filmed in a hotel a couple times, for sure. This is when I started getting sketchy vibes. Yeah. My whole sketchy vibe was from the very first video that I seen. But when they started saying she went to a Mercedes-Benz store, I'm like, like, no. Sorry, I could never leave my child behind. That's just me. And even if I did, as soon as I got on my feet and made money, I would be going back to him. Yes, absolutely. 100%. I don't think I couldn't coexist. Like, I couldn't live without my kids. Going up. Lies. That's the pointless lies, fraud, scam. It's proven to be a scam. No one cares if she does YouTube to earn money. It's how someone earns money. Anywhere, that is the question. Amen, Deb. I don't think she's a scammer. She's someone that people want to watch. I respectfully disagree. She wouldn't be a scammer if she just would have came here on YouTube and said, hey, I'm living in my car, but I want to. This is my life. This is how I choose to live my life. And I'm saving up to get a van, and then I'm going to live the van life. I would have said, okay, girl, do your thing. But when you're sitting there saying that you're homeless and you have no choice, that's grifting, in my opinion. Playing a YouTube game, reviewing other people's videos, and claiming to be homeless and broke are two different things. I think I read that already. Apprehend, my ex is a violent felon and has custody of her youngest son because he forced my son to lie and say I beat him regularly. I even have proof he lied. He's a narcissist who hurt us, and I'm still suffering. I'm sorry to hear that, Kimberly, and you are in my prayers, and I hope everything works out for the best. But you will always be in my prayers, and everything will work out. You'll see. Just keep praying, keep hope alive, and you will prevail. I watched her when she had one video and less than 400 views. Really? Yes, you can email me. I think she's true and real. I disagree. Respectfully, though, I don't care if people have a different opinion than me, but that's just my opinion, not from all the things that I'm seeing now. And sorry, I can't get on board with this.
I know that's like a big thing, but I didn't really know what it was.
And all these guys all over town are just like constantly asking her out, and her life is just so amazing now. Now, a lot of people believe this entire thing is a grift. This entire thing is just to get money from all these people online who are desperately want to help out this very attractive young lady who's down on her luck. Now, I don't know how much of her story is actually true. You can see, like I said, she has an extensive criminal history. She has a child that she has never mentioned in any of her videos that apparently she doesn't talk to anymore, who lives in Arkansas. And I don't know why, if she was actually, getting away from an abusive relationship, why she would be all over the internet. Now, some things to point out. Like I said, she used to have in the description of every video, she had a Patreon. I'll show a link to it in the past. She was making about $1,000 a month from Patreon. She had links to PayPal and Venmo where you could just send her cash. Now, in all of those videos, those are all deleted. I looked at all of the videos. You can't actually find that on any of her current videos. And I think a lot of that has to do with the backlash that she's gotten over the past few weeks. It just seems so odd that she blew up so fast. And now she was making so much money off of YouTube that a lot of people started calling her a grifter. So now she's trying to pull back. Now, she has since said she's going to come out with a video, I think, later today. She's going to expel all the rumors. I don't know how much of that is actually true. If there is some interesting information in that, I will cover this story further. But as you can see, this person, Ari, or Ronnie Spur, as she actually is someone who, like I said, who has an extensive criminal history. There's many counts of theft. There's counts of her being somewhat abusive to her adoptive mother, saying she was going to slap the S out of her face, abandoning her child, apparently. So this person just is not who she claims to be. Ari is, at the very least, being incredibly manipulative. I don't know. Like I said, the situation with the abusive partner, that may or may not be true. I really don't know. But she is definitely being very manipulative as to how she is presenting herself online. She's not homeless. She chose to move out to California and live in her car. That's a choice she consciously chose to make. In California, if you don't know, one of the most expensive places in the world to live. Arkansas, where she's from, is not. She could have moved to anywhere else in the world, anywhere else in the country she could have drove to and live, and she chose to move to one of the most expensive places in the country to live. That just seems very odd to me. But I'd love to know your opinion. Are you all in with Ronnie, as we know her real name to be? Are you all in with Ronnie? Go ahead and leave a comment below. Are you all out with Ronnie? Let me know in the comment section.
Okay, so I wanted you guys to see that because I agree with him 100%. I think at the very least she's manipulative, but I knew that from the first time I seen her video, and that's just my opinion. I don't feel like this is an honest woman. I think that she definitely is a grifter, in my opinion, allegedly, and I'm entitled to it. Just from watching her for the little bit of time that I have, I've just gotten those vibes from her. And a lot of things are now coming out of dishonesty. And there's just things that don't make sense. And when things don't make sense, you guys, you have to look at it for what it is. You know what I mean? That's basically it. And I also think in a lot of ways that, I believe she lives in her car. Absolutely. I do. But I think that she lives in her car because it's her choice to live in her car, not because she has to, And when you do those types of things and you lie blatantly about that, that is very manipulative. It's deception, in my opinion. And that's playing on people's emotions. Of course people are going to feel bad for you. And then for you to say that you didn't even want money in the first place, well, that doesn't make any sense. It's like all backtracking now. And I just don't agree with the things that this woman has done. And it makes it bad for so many people out there. So yeah, maybe she originally wanted the money to get to LA and got caught up in how much she made and kept going. Not saying it's okay, but maybe that's where it started. It could have been. Hold on. Oh, thank you for the super sticker, Princess Chicken. It says, with respect, this is our glam family time that we look forward to every night. We can say things without being rude. Please be respectful. Aw, our queen. Thank you so much, Princess Chicken. I just adore you. You're just such an amazing person. Thank you so much. Yeah, just be respectful. You're entitled to your opinion. So I'm going to show one thing. And if you want to come up and give your opinion, you're more than welcome to. But I will say, if you have to be respectful, and that's it. If you're not respectful, you will not be on my panel. All right. So I am going to show you one last thing here.
Yeah, and things are not looking too well for all the information that's coming out about her extensive criminal history, about the abuse of her child. In this video, I have a new document that is pretty damning evidence as to the physical abuse that she inflicted upon her infant child when he was only 4 months old. Now, I don't think anyone has posted this so far. It's a brand new document that I found, so we'll go over this. But this lady is not who she presents herself at all. She presents herself as a very nice, friendly lady, just living that hippie lifestyle out there on the California coast. And that's not who she is. Now, since my past video, I did a video on her 2 days ago. It's currently at 15,000 views. I don't think I've ever had a video get that many views in such a short period of time. So clearly a lot of people are interested in the
Congratulations to Scott. He seems like a really good content creator and tries to present facts. So I just wanted to show you guys this really, really quickly. But yeah, there's some things that he shows in this video that I wanted you guys to see. Trigger warning, just to let you guys know, I'm going to put up a trigger warning because some of the things that you're going to hear is very sad and can be triggering, okay? So
whole story with Ari, aka Ronnie. Since that video, she's posted 3 videos. She initially posted 2 videos where she went over her name and she said, "Am I a scammer?" In the "Am I a scammer" video, she basically just said, "No, I'm not a scammer," like 100 times. There's nothing really useful in that video at all. The My Name video, she actually doesn't tell her name. She just admits that Ari is not her birth name, that she changed her name, but she doesn't actually tell her real name, which is Ronnie Spur, because she doesn't want people to look her up, because if you look up her real name, you can find her extensive criminal history. Now, since then, since my video has basically gone viral about her, she's made a new video just earlier today, a couple hours ago, called "Being Exposed Today in Santa Monica." And she starts to go into more detail about things that myself and other people exposed in our videos. So in a recent video, she does come clean a lot about her past, about her criminal history, burglary, stuff like that. She does admit that she has a child, which is something she's never talked about anywhere on the channel.
And yeah, there's mugshots out there of me. They're so flattering. It's not cool. Some people are saying it's because I'm a felon on the run. So not true. I've never been a felon. I'm not a felon. I'm not on the run. I don't have warrants out for my arrest. Those mugshots were from like years ago for, let's see, I think one of them I was driving on a suspended license. Yes, I was arrested also for stealing at Walmart. I'm so not proud of it. It's very embarrassing. But at that point in my life, I was...
Oops, sorry, you guys, if it was echoing. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So one thing that I want to say is that everybody makes mistakes in the past, okay? I get that. Yeah, thank you guys. I forgot to put that on mute, but I'm going to play this back in a second. But what I want to say is that I understand that she has an extensive criminal history, and even driving without a license, I've done that before. That's nothing to hold against someone, but there's definitely some things here that are revealed that I just feel like people should know. I think people should know some of the things that are very weird. Very, very weird. I agree with Dave, what Princess Chicken said. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Brenda. You're so sweet, and you are so pretty. You really are. Love your makeup. I'm always going to talk about makeup. Love your makeup, girl. You're slaying it. Okay, let's continue.
Suffering from major depression and anxiety, there's a reason that I wear a wristband. Now, it is to cover up a tattoo for the most part because I've made peace with my scars, but I do have, I don't know if you can see, but I do have like scars. There's my tattoo. It's just a cross, but I don't like it, and I plan to get it removed. It's really, really hard to see because it's been a while. And this is another thing that I'm sure that a lot of people have seen about my child. Yes, I do have a son, and a lot of the things that are being said or presented to the public is false. And I would love to address that topic, but just not right now.
But one thing that's really interesting is she just admits that she has a child. She doesn't admit that she basically abandoned her child in Arkansas. If you don't know, her child is living in Arkansas with the father. She now lives in California and apparently has no contact with him whatsoever. Unless she's incredibly rich and she's flying out to Arkansas every month to visit him, she's no longer in the child's life. The child is currently 9 years old. A 9-year-old needs their mother in their life. And she just decided, you know what, I'm going to start over in California. My son, forget him, the whole past life. It's all about me. I'm living my life in California now. Now, in her video, like I said, she admits that she has a child, but she doesn't cover anything related to the abuse allegations or that she had her child taken away from her. And she does say that she planned on revealing all of this information. Like I said, I don't think that's true. I think the only reason she's talking about it is because my video and other people's videos are going viral about it. Now, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you a document that is, like I said, it's truly damning. No one else has shown this. There's another channel, Lycan Legion. He has a similar document that he has shown, but the document I'm about to show you, which basically tells you all of the abuse allegations that were put forth that basically she did to her infant child. Her child was 4 months old, and there was physical harm inflicted upon her child. I'm going to show this document. It's not for everyone. It's very disturbing, so if you don't want to see it, now's the time to end the video. And one thing I want to mention, this article that I'm going to show specifically mentions the child's name several times. I have blurred out the child's name, and I know once I show this.
Thank you for blurring out the child's name, because if you didn't, I would stop this video here as we speak. But what I will say is Lycan was actually just in the chat. I will let you guys know, I think he has a lot of information about her as well. It's just, it's sad. It's very, very sad. And which makes me, of course, no one is going to disclose that. Nobody's going to talk about that type of stuff. But because it's out there now, you have to look at this woman sideways. Like, you know, there's just things that just don't add up, you know, and it's not something that I would ever research. Sorry, but I never would. But in the same sense, it's like you can't ignore it, you know? So as again, like I said, trigger warning, you guys, okay?
This, other people will find it as well. So I ask anyone else who wants to show this information to people, please block out the child's name if you do show this document. You know, the 9-year-old child did nothing wrong, so the 9-year-old child's name should not be plastered all over the internet. I took the time, I censored it. You need to do the same if you want to show this document as well. Okay, so this is the document right here. It's 3 pages. We'll cover it. Again, I blurred out the child's name. I'll just be referring to the child as Billy. Obviously, that's not his real name. Now, one thing I want to mention, a lot of people have been leaving comments saying, you know, she did nothing wrong. She's just trying to hide her past. There's nothing wrong with that. She didn't lie about anything. And what I'm going to show you in this document that I'm showing you basically shows that she did do something wrong. According to the documents, according to the doctor, according to the child services, she physically abused her child, or at least, at the very least, she allowed her child to be very physically harmed. Again, there is a similar document other people have shown. This one is new that I'm showing today. So right here at the bottom it says, on February 15th, 2014, the following report was received by the hotline AV. Is 4-month-old Billy. The AO is unknown. Billy lives with his mother, Ronnie Spur. Billy was brought into Conway Regional Hospital Emergency Hospital. The mother stated that she thought that Billy was having an allergic reaction to something. Billy's right eye was swollen and the right side of his head. The doctor did a CAT scan to check and discovered a skull fracture and a small blood bleed. The mother stated that Billy fell 10 days ago off a mattress on the floor. The child was a little fussy after the incident, but nothing else had occurred until today. The child is currently headed to Children's Hospital in Little Rock, ambulance. So that's the start of the story. We'll go on to the second page. So it says, FSW LaToyna Griffin was informed of SSW Lisa Smith that a call had been made to the Children's Abuse Hotline in regards to an infant with a skull fracture that had been hospitalized at Arkansas Children's Hospital on Saturday, February 15th. It was at that time that FSW Smith contacted the hospital and spoke with the social worker on staff, Tamara Belton. From that conversation, it was decided that the hospital will contact DCFS once the child would be ready for release from the hospital. FSW Griffin was notified at 5:40 p.m. by telephone that Billy was medically ready to be discharged from the hospital. The call came from Tamara, the social worker at Children's Hospital. FSW Griffin arrived at the hospital approximately 8:30 p.m. She was met in the lobby by the social worker. The social worker disclosed that the mother was not aware at this time that DCFS would be taking custody of the child. FSW Griffin was taken to the fourth floor and placed in a room to await the parent. FSW Griffin met Ronnie Spur, Billy's mother. Ronnie was brought into the room by the social worker. At this time, FSN Griffin explained to Ronnie that the agency would be taking a 72-hour hold on Billy due to the injuries not matching the mother's explanation of how the injury was obtained. Ronnie began to cry, stating that she forgot to tell the doctor that Billy had been on a thin blanket at her grandparents' house while they watched him last week, and maybe he thrashed his head on the hardwood floor. The social worker stated that she did not believe it was possible for Billy to give this injury to himself. Tamara then called the child abuse doctor who examined Billy, Dr. Shellchase, and put the doctor on speakerphone. Tamara asked the doctor if Billy could have caused this injury by what Ronnie was telling them. The doctor stated the location of the skull fractures on the right side, not consistent with a back and forth thrashing of a child lying on the floor. The doctor also stated that with the size and the significance of the injury, it is not possible that Billy could have caused this injury to himself. On February 16, 2014 at 10:30 p.m., due to concerns to the safety and well-being of the child, it was felt to be contrary to the welfare of the minor to remain in his mother's custody, and a 72-hour hold was taken by the agency. So there you go. As you can see, basically, the doctor, child services, everyone believed that the injuries were caused by Ronnie. Now, like I said, Ronnie is already changed her name, but everyone believed that Ronnie was the cause of the injuries. They took a 72-hour hold. They took the child away from her, and the father of the child eventually, filed an emergency order to get custody of the child, which eventually was allowed to happen. So the child is now in the permanent custody of the father. Now, one thing to point out, some people said like, oh, well, she moved to California because she can't see her kid anymore. That's not true. You can see in this one right here, it says the guardian agrees to natural mother Ronnie Ann Spur having visitation supervised by his parents at their home from 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays of each week. So basically, Ronnie still has the ability to see her child. She can only see him for 2 hours a week. And they're all supervised visits. So the court believes that someone needs to watch her when she's with her own child. That's pretty damning evidence, but she does still have the ability to visit her child every single week. Now, obviously she can't do that if she moves to California. Her child and the father of the child live in Arkansas. She's not traveling every week from California to Arkansas. She just decided, as a 33-year-old woman, I think she is, I'm going to start over. Going to abandon everything, including my kid, move out to California, and just live my best life. Now, like I said, this document that I showed is pretty damning evidence that she mistreated her child. Whether that was intentional or accidental, I really don't know. You can make your own assumptions as to that.
Thank you for the super chat, Nana. I appreciate you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Even though that's nudity right there. Let's continue.
I'm sure you will in the comment section, but I really don't know. But she has not addressed that at all, and I truly believe that she only addressed some of the issues because they came out. I really don't think she was ever going to bring this up. She brought up the fact that, yes, she has a child, but she hasn't mentioned at all that she mistreated her child. Her child was taken away by, child services because they believe that she harmed her 4-month-old child. Wasn't even a year old, 4-month-old, and the kid had a skull fracture. So that's pretty damning evidence. Now, like I said, there's been plenty of people leaving comments being like, she didn't do anything wrong. Clearly, I showed you that.
Wait a minute. So you're saying, Mikey, I'm sorry. No, this is not an affidavit from the initial report filed at the hospital, but not the investigation. I'm sorry, but exposing these names in the document compromised the child, in my opinion. So what are you saying, Mikey? You're saying that the child's name is not shown. If it was shown, I would have not continued to watch this. And I don't think a lot of people who are showing this is blocking out the child's name. But the child's name was not shown. So I'm not sure what you mean by this was compromised. Yikes, but I think it's horrible that he's putting all that information out. Yeah, it's a lot of information. It doesn't compromise the child or in any way. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is an official document. He blurred out the child's real name and is calling the child Billy, okay? Nobody knows the child's real name, so how does that compromise the child? Although putting out this information can be very controversial because I think a lot of people look at this like, okay, why are you putting this information out? We don't need to know this. But then there are some people who have donated to this woman under false pretenses. And it shows her past. And it definitely shows that there is something wrong. You know what I mean? There's definitely something that's not right. Let's put it that way. Oh, sorry. His name is Scott. I will put his channel in my description. His name is Scott. Hold on. I will show. He seems like he's trying to do this very respectfully. His name is Scott Schaefer. Yeah, Scott Schaefer. All you have to do is type in "all in" with Ari, and it will come up.
Whether it was intentional or accidental, she did not, care for her child as a mother should. And now she has moved away and no longer wants to apparently see her child at all. So clearly she's done a lot wrong. Like, this is not the type of person that people should be admiring on the internet. It's not the type of person that people should be sending hundreds and thousands of dollars, which is happening. She has her, PayPal account. She has Venmo. She has Patreon. Now her Patreon subscribers are actually going down, which is a good thing. But this is not the type of person that should be getting tons of admiration and free money from people who want to help out a girl who's in a bad situation. She's not in a bad situation. She's not homeless. She chose to live in her car. She chose to run away from her obligations as a mother, which she is. So I don't know why people continue to support this type of behavior. But I'd love to hear your comments down below. Let me know what you think about that. And again, if anyone else wants to see that document, if anyone else decides to share that document, like I said, please blur out the child's name. The child did nothing wrong, so their name should not be plastered all over the internet. This is just about Ari, aka Ronnie Spur, and the issues that she is bringing upon herself.
I'm always ready to hear your opinion, Dave. It says, I have to be honest. I've never been comfortable anytime when we start touching on anything to do with kids of YouTubers, unless they're in danger, of course. I agree. I believe it definitely is controversial bringing out all of these past things about, and that's why I try very hard, which I really don't. Like, with Katie, for example, you're never going to hear me really talking too much about her life and as a mother as far as that goes, because I still say we don't know what happens behind closed doors. We only know that Katie is a horrible person, but in the same sense, when you start touching on kids, it is very sensitive. Regardless, the information is out there, and I feel like there's a lot of things that are relevant to Dave. I agree, children are off limits, right? But there are a lot of things that are relevant to her coming on the internet and lying. And I'm not talking about even with her history. It's bound that somebody was going to find out about that. But I'm talking about like with theft and with her DUI, things like that. I do think that is relevant because it's a pattern. I don't believe that this woman is who she portrays herself to be. I think that she is very manipulative. And these are things, and what she's creating, when you guys hear her say watermelons, okay, hey, watermelons, how are you? That is a sign number one, you guys, okay? I'm addicted to Lifesavers mints, you guys. I don't know why. I just love them. But I can't have it while I'm talking. But anyway, because I talk too fast. But when let's just put it this way. When I say Glam family, that's just for my members. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. But I always feel like people like the Ace family, when they're saying you guys are all family, that is creating parasocial relationships. One thing I'm going to tell you guys, and I will always stand true to this, and we will talk about parasocial relationships because I feel it's very important for subs to pay attention to the signs that create parasocial relationships. Number one, watch a creator and keep it moving. Go to the next creator and watch the next creator. Go to the next one, the next one. Do not invest all of your time into watching just one creator unless you want to, but always keep in mind that creators are only going to show you what they want to. Creators are only going to let you see what they want you to see. You don't know what happens behind closed doors, but in my opinion, from the moments that she comes on and say, hey, watermelons, and she's just so manipulative with her voice, I do not believe that that's her voice. I didn't think that it was her voice from the very beginning of watching her. And then and I'm not saying that she's not religious, but what I am saying is a lot of creators use religion to manipulate people. Okay? They do. And in my opinion, I felt like those are the vibes that I got from her from day one of doing research on her. Now, I don't believe in bringing kids into the situation. I'm never going to be that YouTuber, you guys. I will never be that YouTuber that looks up things from people's past. If somebody gives it to me, I will talk about what's relevant. To me, it is very necessary to know some things from her past, though, because her and her whole bullshit disposition and the way that she's acting isn't working with me. She is, you could just tell she's a very manipulative woman. And there are just so many red flags to look for. And what I look for, and I found it in her. Okay. She seems as though, obviously, she had a lot to hide. That, even though that's not information that I would look up, it's still out there. It's out there now. It's out in the open now. And it has me looking at her sideways even more. Okay. I didn't look up the information, but if I'm researching for commentary purposes, I'm going to let you guys know that if it's out there, and it's out there. And the fact that she left Arkansas, which we don't know her side of the story. She said she was going to talk about her side of the story eventually. She said she does have a son and she will explain it. And when she explains it, I will show you guys and I will listen to what she has to say. But in the same sense, you guys, in my opinion, I don't know what kind of excuse you have for leaving Arkansas, you know, where your child is, and just up and moving to another state and living in your car. Okay. I don't know what justification she could have for that. You even have visitation rights to see your child. So there's just no way around it for me to look at her and just be like, why did you leave? Like, what could possibly be her excuse for leaving when all of the facts are there? You know, that is not, anybody can go look up her records now. And I think, I don't know why she calls everybody water. Oh, if anybody knows, you can let me know. She calls her audience watermelons. but in the same sense, I just think that that's very, very wrong. That's horrible. And this is just speaking from the perspective of what we just heard. When she tells her side of the story, I'll listen. And if it justifies it of what's already out here, okay then. But I don't know what she could do to justify that she left her child. They said because she was drinking a watermelon flavored energy drink one time on a live. Oh, okay. And then they just started calling her watermelon. She just started calling people watermelons. Huh. It's because the energy drink she likes is watermelon flavor. Okay. Thank you guys for telling me. I appreciate that. Okay, so basically that's why she calls her audience watermelon, because she likes watermelon flavored energy drinks. Because the father got full custody a certain way. She doesn't have to pay child support. Okay, so I am going to open up the panel for a minute. Here's what I am going to say. If you are rude, disrespectful, you will get cussed out and I'll throw you off my panel. Okay? Be respectful. And when you come up on panel, you have to show your face prior to me bringing you up. Okay. Just letting you know the rules. You can come up and state your opinion, how you feel. If you disagree with me, that's fine, as long as you're respectful. You can respectfully disagree with me. My brother passed away of drug abuse and alcohol because our parents abandoned us. Ari is wrong for abusing her child, just wrong. I agree. I mean, we can only go by what is said. But like I said, we don't know her side of the story. Yeah. Yes, you will get cussed out. And then I'll kick you off panel. And that will be it. But I love you. I love to hear you guys' opinion. And I'm sorry if, listen, it's sad when people disagree with somebody and they're just like, I disagree with you. I'm unsubscribing. I don't do that. Nor would I ever do that. Why is my computer doing that? That's weird. I don't do that, nor would I ever do that. Oh, I know why. Hold on, you guys. Gotta charge it. Just because I disagree with somebody doesn't mean that I am going to say I'm unsubscribing from them. So if that's the way you feel, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? But oh, you're showing your face. Hi. Okay. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I like the you'll get cussed off. Cussed and thrown out. That's funny. No, I'm Tink Tink in the chat. Like I didn't know
Okay,
my full
Tink
name
Tink.
was gonna pop up, but
That's okay. I didn't say your name.
that's okay. Well, I didn't mean to like come off like aggressive in the chat, but
Listen, I want people to come up that have a different opinion than me. I'm so happy that you came up here. I'm so happy because that makes me feel like people are comfortable even though their opinion is different than mine. And I would love to hear your opinion. Absolutely. Okay. And yes, you were a little aggressive in the chat, but if you were so really aggressive, my mods would have blocked you. You were okay. Fine. You were fine.
No, I don't know this girl and I don't have, any interest in like her fight or her battle. If more comes out, like I feel like we haven't heard her side. And I know that all of this stuff looks horrible up front, but I have a horrible past. And, if I was to create a channel and it just feels like everybody's like, she should have told her whole entire history from that very first video. And it's like, I think she was having a bad day and she posted a video to the void and it blew up. And, as a creator, you yourself know, as you are able to slowly grow a community, you have time to adjust and to feel comfortable in when to release this, when to tell this, into getting your story out, to really bonding with your community. And for her, she was just thrown into this, you know what I mean? And I think like it's overwhelming to just go from nothing to having thousands of eyes on you and, just sitting here and picking and picking and picking. And, and then when it comes to the homelessness, choosing to be homeless, or being forced to be homeless, judging because she has a car and a job that she doesn't She's not quote unquote homeless enough. She doesn't look homeless. She's pretty. She goes to a gym. You know, a lot of people who do quote unquote choose to be homeless and live out of vehicles, it's because of price of living. It's because you're living paycheck to paycheck and you cannot get ahead. And for a single woman, and I'll get to the child part, but for a single woman, living out of her car, you know, might have been a choice, but it might have been a forced, pressured choice for her. You know, we don't know the reason that she quote unquote chose to live out of her vehicle. And, you know, for a while, when I lost everything because of my choices, my bad decisions, I lived out of a car. But my car was nice. It was a Kia Soul. But the only reason I even had that car was because it was a part of the Uber car program. That I don't know if a lot of people don't know that, you know, if you drive Uber, you can enter into a program where they'll give you a rental car. And if you get a certain amount of rides, it pays for the car price of the rental. And then everything else is the money that you make. So if I had posted a video of me in that car, it was a nice car. It was nicer than any other car I'd ever had in my life, but it wasn't necessarily mine. It was a part of my job. I'm homeless. I can live out of this car, but I can also make money. So like, I'm just saying, like, there's lots of things that we can look at her and say, well, you know what I'm saying? But you just don't know. And,
Okay.
you know, and then go ahead.
So how do you look at her? Okay. And the fact that she had a job, the fact that she always has Starbucks, the fact that she very, very much. So you think that somebody who has a job and who always has Starbucks and those kinds of different things. So your opinion is you think she was homeless. You believe her story, you're saying.
I'm saying I've been there, and I'm saying that when I lived out of my car, you would have not have known that I lived out of my car. I had my makeup done. A lot of times, you know, Anytime Fitness is $10 a month. It's open 24-hour. You can use the shower. So a lot of homeless people who do live out of their cars, or not even homeless people, just like van life, they'll get a gym membership just so they can use the showers. You know, I was put together a lot of times, you know, if I didn't even have money to put, like I'm driving Uber, but I'm out of gas and I don't have money right now. You know what I mean? And I would have to ask people, hey, can you spare a couple bucks for gas? And I'm not out here saying my whole story. I just give them some quick little, it might be bad, but a little quick white lie to get $10 to throw into my gas tank so that I can, you know, get back on the road. And I'm saying for her, she was thrown into this also quickly. I think it would be very overwhelming. And I think that she was just putting out of her for that video. She was having a bad day. She was upset. She was lonely. You know, I just know that I've been there, and I can think of 1,000 different reasons. Like, everybody's like, why'd she go to California? And I'm sitting here thinking, you know, where I was during winters, living out of a car was hard. Going to California, that would be a perfect place because the weather is always nice. So that I wouldn't have to worry about this type of thing.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I can't see you, Mickey. It's dark. It's dark. Okay. Thank you. I had to see your beautiful face first. I can't. There's too much going on around here. People try to get you kicked off and all that kind of stuff. What's your opinion, Goose?
I think one of the issues that people are having with this certain
let's say, thing that we're uncovering right now isn't the fact that she lives in her car. It's not, I mean, of course, now knowing some of the history, it bothers people. But I think what people are upset about is because in her original videos, she made it sound like she was like not homeless that she was not living in her car by choice, that she didn't have a job, that she, and so now people are finding out that she's been choosing to live in her car, that she had a job that she chose to quit. And so people are feeling like she manipulated people that were watching in order to like either build her subs or get money. Now she's saying, well, I didn't ask for money or anything, but the issue is that the way she came off in the beginning led people to believe that she was, homeless, not by choice, and not living in her car by choice, but because she had to. And so that's what I think is upsetting people the most. If she had just come on and just said like, hey, I decided I wanted to move to LA. I didn't really have a place to live, but I got a job and I could get a place, but I like living in my car. So I decided to go ahead and start a YouTube channel just talking about how you can live in your car in LA and you can make it work, and told people this is how you do it, there probably wouldn't have been as much of an issue. But people feel like they were manipulated by what she said. And I think that's the problem.
Well, I think I've
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Mickey,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for coming up on panel.
Oh no, thank you. So I'm a little nervous because I've never done one of these things before, but this whole situation intrigued me because I'm a van life enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
And so the algorithm recommended her appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she was pushed into my page by YouTube or anything.
Yeah.
But like everyone, I have some concerns about how she's presenting, just based on my education and experience. I'm a licensed therapist. I'm a social worker, hospital social worker. So I have some insight here that I just want to put out there. I got more involved and more interested once I saw the kid element.
Okay.
The document that Scott and the other gentleman, I forget his name, presented.
Lycan.
Yes, it's a affidavit that was submitted in family court.
Mm-hmm.
And what it looks like to me is it's the original report that was filed when the child was admitted to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is just common sense. If you have a court case that's filed, the documents that have been shown are basically from the side of the, father. When you're in family court, you're going to say the worst possible things you can say in order to get
That's true.
the court to side with you.
It's true.
In addition, the information that was provided is very limited. My point in bringing up the fact that that was the original report, with that report comes a criminal investigation and an investigation by Child and Family Services.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have those documents to make the assumption that she was criminally convicted of anything, nor do we have information showing that she was found guilty of any neglect. All we have is that the court determined in their final order that they decided, based on all of the information that were presented, which we don't have right now, it's not been shown to us,
Right.
that she should not have custody of her child. This happened in 2014, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So from 2014 to now, there is, my math is bad. I didn't go to school for math, but there's almost 10 years worth of missing information. So here's the thing. I don't like, and this is not a reflection on you. Let me just be clear. This is nothing against you. I think you're just presenting what was presented out there and opening the topic. Because we don't have a lot of information, there's holes for me. Stating things as facts is very problematic for me.
It is.
And I
Yes.
just have a lot of insight into the field and also everything that kind of goes on behind the scenes with this stuff. We cannot say that she abandoned her child. That's, to me, that's
Yeah.
kind of bordering on not slander, but defamation. So here's a bunch of scenarios that could potentially be possible. She may there may be a subsequent order that said that she was not allowed to visit her child. There could be a situation where she has decided to remove her child remove herself from the child's life physically, but is communicating with the child via phone, FaceTime, or what have you. It's just, you see where I'm getting at. It's just too much missing data. But I am totally on board with everybody just kind of reflecting on what they've seen thus far.
Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing. What I like, though, I like that you're educated in this part, but you're also thinking critically. I love it. I don't know why you're nervous. You're doing great. But here's the thing. You don't think like maybe her leaving would be problematic a little bit because she left the state that her child is in. I'd like your opinion on that.
And I'll tell you why my perspective on that. My thought is just from being around a lot of different families and family trauma and things like that. My opinion is that one of the best things a dangerous, irresponsible parent can do is to leave their child in a safe environment. She may have enough insight to say to herself, if I continue to be around this child and continue to mother, I may cause this child harm.
Right.
Yeah.
The child is with the father, and from every indication we have thus far, the child is in a safe environment and not in immediate danger. Morally, do I think it's right to quote unquote abandon a child? And not really, but I have a little trepidation in saying that she abandoned her child without a lot of facts. Right. I think that's a very huge thing to lodge. I think it's okay to call her e-beggar. I think it's okay to suggest that she might be a scammer. There are things that don't set right with me, but this thing here is a bit excessive.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I have custody of my kids back. It took me 2 years, but I got them back. And when I was going through like my, parent counseling, I had to take classes and stuff like that. And the number one thing that was, taught to us through this was you can't take care of your child if you can't take care of yourself. And if you yourself are in a bad situation, you have to focus on getting yourself better before you can, really be there for your kids. So that's what I'm not saying that you guys are all wrong about her. She could very well be a beggar. I'm just trying to take the opposite points just to try and say that, we don't know her situation. We don't know why she left. Maybe that's a part of why she left, is she couldn't get ahead where she was. She kept getting in trouble where she was. The trauma with her family, when I was in addiction, my family cut me off. You know what I mean? And I couldn't rely on my family. I had to pull myself up. I had to get myself out of my situation. My family now, we're all better. So that's what I'm saying. We just don't know the situation to say that she abandoned a child. Also, when it comes to the injury that the child had, a lot of her story just hits so close to home for me too. So it's a lot of emotion too. When I was 5, my brother was 2 months old and got a skull fracture, and DSS took me and my brother from my mother. And to this day, I know 100% she had nothing to do with his skull fracture, because he was inside taking a nap and she was outside playing with me. That's how I know that she had nothing to do with it. But there were people in the house, you know what I mean? And he did end up with a skull fracture that nobody, whoever caused it, wouldn't confess. And we didn't know how it happened. And so obviously she's responsible for us. So we were removed. But I know 100% she had nothing to do with it because I was with her. But as a 5-year-old, they're not listening to me say, you know, my mom didn't do it. So that's another reason why it hits kind of close home for me when it comes to that.
Okay, here's the thing I'm going to say. And then Goose, I'm going to let you say something. Here's my problem. My problem is that to me, it would not matter whatever the situation is, and going by what Mickey said, and that it's from the father's perspective. I know all about that because I've been there. But one thing I will say is that if that were my position, I have to look at things for what I see and what's in front of me, okay, as of now. And what I'm saying is that in no way, shape, or form would I ever leave. And I'm not saying I don't know for sure if I don't look at it as abandoned because she technically doesn't have her custody of her child. So you can't look at it as abandoned, but I would never leave the state that my child is in. No matter what, I would have to find a way to get myself together in that state that my child is in. That's what I'm saying. Goose?
But what if there's no job opportunities? You know, in order to get a child back, you have to have a home, you have to have a car, you have to have a job, you have to
wait a minute.
You have to have all of those things.
Hold on. I'm going to let Goose say something. So hold on. We have to give everybody a chance to talk. But here's what I will say. If there's no job opportunities, you move across the state. Go ahead, Goose.
So yeah, just two things. So again, this is the paperwork, I think, was from 8 years ago. So from 8 years ago until now. And then again, like, even if there wasn't like job opportunities, say like right where she lived, she's choosing to like go so far away. And also I would go back to the beginning of when she first started doing videos and what she tried to make herself look like, which was of no fault but her own. Now she's saying, yeah, I didn't ask people for money. Yeah, I am living in my car by choice and stuff like that. But in her first video, she literally was homeless. Yeah, she said she was homeless, and she didn't explain like, hey, I'm homeless. I'm living in my car by choice because I chose to move. I was going through some things in my home state or my prior state, and I just needed to get out to clear my head. But, you know, I decided I would film this process. Yes, I'm living in my car by choice. It's, you know, not like I have to live in my car, but I am. I think that's why people are upset, is because it's like she said some trigger words to kind of tug at people's heartstrings, and purposefully didn't say like that she was not necessarily homeless, but this was a choice she was choosing to make because she was interested in the van life. Now, I know people that will go and either live in a van or a tent or even a car or a crossover vehicle because they're considering doing van life and they want to see if they can do it first. So a lot of times they will go and do kind of like a test run or something like that. But I think at the end of the day, what has upset people in this situation is because she tried to come across like she was in her car, she was homeless, she didn't have a place to go. And it all happened not because of her doing, but just by like, you know, it was just, oh, I'm stuck in my car type of thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, that takes me back to the very first thing that I said was when I don't think that she put that video out thinking she was going to go viral, is what I'm saying. If she wanted to become an influencer, most people start their channel and it starts slowly. She just put a video out having a bad day and it blew up. And she didn't have the opportunity to cultivate a community, to be honest and upfront with the community. I think she was just putting a video out there and then it hit the algorithm, and maybe she put the right hashtags in or something and it just hit the algorithm. And that's how it happened. And then, like I said, all of this, she went from when she posted that video, she went immediately to 7,000 subscribers. And then it was just like, I could see being like going from a nobody to somebody overnight, and then being like, okay, where do I go from this? How do I take this? And then at the same time, people are now doxing you, pulling up your history. She didn't even have a chance to really get ahead of anything, to really come out with anything, because people were already throwing all that stuff out there. That's all. I'm maybe she did embellish a little bit, you know what I mean? When you're feeling down and you're feeling sorry for yourself, you're not sitting here thinking, I did this to myself, I chose to do this. You're just in a bad spot. When I was in my car, yeah, there were times where like, this sucks and I'm at the lowest point. Well, yeah, Jessica, it's your fault. You chose to put a needle in your arm. You chose to get, you know what I mean? You chose all of this. But I'm not thinking that in that moment. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to make excuses for her. I'm just trying to see an opposite point of view, to where she could very well be completely overwhelmed and didn't expect to be boxed so soon. She didn't have the opportunity to tell her full story. Now I will say, I am citing the Mercedes thing. That's a little extreme to me. But again,
okay.
like,
hold on. Hey, Fastlane.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? We have somebody new on panel. Welcome.
Hey, Fastlane.
Hey, how you doing? I was muting. I'll wait until she finished.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think that's really that was the point I was trying to make, is just, I could see from being nobody to somebody overnight, and being doxxed, and all of my criminal history thrown out there, my child being taken, everything. That's a little overwhelming. And like I said, when you're down in the dumps and you're posting a video to the void about how you're upset and you're feeling lonely and yada, yada, yada. And I don't know. I can't sit here and fully 100% say that I think that she planned all of this out, that she wanted to, lie to people, that she, and then in regards to going to California, maybe she did hope to be, some kind of influencer or something. And in California, it might be, expensive, but if you're living out of a car, you bump elbows with people. So I don't think it's that, because everybody just keeps saying how pretty she is, yada, yada. Of course she can make it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, if you're in California and you bump into the right person, I mean, Whitney Houston, she got her career singing at the gas pump.
Mm-hmm.
So like, crazier things have happened. I don't feel like she planned to scam people. I don't believe that was her intent. And I think maybe she got caught up, and you know what I'm saying? I don't see her right now at this moment in the beginning as a conniving scammer who just wanted to lie to people to steal from them. I don't.
Whitney Houston.
Yet.
That was Tony Braxton.
Or Tony Braxton. That's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah, Tony Braxton. That's what I meant.
Go ahead, Fastlane.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Good. Welcome.
Okay. It was. I was so glad that she had brought up her last point. I'm trying to like elaborate. I kind of lost my train of thought while I was listening to her.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you on the point where you said, well, she's a mother, because that seems strange to me when we found out she had a child, because she never mentioned that. And as a content creator such as myself, I never wanted to make my personal life my content, because when you do that, you basically make yourself vulnerable to be judged by everybody. So when she just said like her telling her story and everybody's like researching who she is, where she came from, and how did she get in that situation, that kind of comes to the territory when you make your personal life your content on YouTube. You really don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but there's still a a lot of questionable things to me that she's done, and I don't know if it may have been her intent. I don't think it's anybody's intent to go viral. Absolutely not. But I do think that she, in my opinion, she purposely told the people watching her that she was homeless for a reason.
Right,
So,
right.
like,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I do. I don't think that she planned to go viral or anything like that. I don't think she planned that. But I do think that she planned to tell her audience and her supporters that she's homeless, and I think that there was um, financial intent behind that, in my opinion.
well,
Maybe.
Can I
Maybe.
can
well,
I
when you
say I
say,
That's fair.
well, when
can
you
I
say,
Fair.
I just want to respond. Well,
Oh,
when you say that you don't think that she intend to go viral,
no, I don't.
but she quit her job to become a full-time YouTuber. So it's
after
like,
she
But
made
it's
some
after.
money?
But
It was after.
Hold on. I
So
want to hear something from Mickey. Go ahead.
so I will say, just from my observation, there are inconsistencies in her story.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
There seems to be poor judgment and lack of insight
Yeah.
Hmm.
and impulsivity, and
Yes.
it's giving me some spidey senses.
Yeah.
Coupled with what she has shared and what we have now learned, my suspicion is that there is a history of trauma, uh, abuse, substance abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so this is the kind of person you create. I don't want to diagnose her because I don't think that that's fair,
Yeah.
but it's getting in the personality disorder realm.
Really.
And I don't but let me be clear that I'm just basing this off of what I saw, and I'm not rendering a full diagnosis. Uh, Second, I want to kind of clarify what I mean about the doxing thing. Um, I feel like when we first discovered that she had a child out there, and then the creators kind of dug deeper, I feel like that was an opportunity to maybe step away from that angle, because we had enough other stuff to say, there's something's not right. The problem with the uh posting that report is you have the father's full name and date of birth. You
Yeah.
have the mother's full name and date of birth, which has led people to now discover the child's name and date of birth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just too many people online that are just crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what's concerning me. It's always the safety of the child. And I think that the leveraging of that information was unnecessary, because I don't want to put it out in the wind that anything bad is going to happen. But there have been documented cases of online stalking because of too much information and people being harmed in some kind of way. So I
Yeah.
do think that we have to be careful
Yeah.
about the information we share. And her grifting people is absolutely, if that's the case and what she's doing, is absolutely wrong. And I don't know if it's criminal. If it is criminal, then maybe someone should report it.
Mm-hmm.
But see, in the background, you report that. You don't delve into the child stuff. It's a lot of creators on here that will tell you, and some creators that I think are not good people, that
Mm-hmm.
steer away from anything related to children. They will back away from that.
Yeah,
And
I
I
do.
agree with you, she
Yeah.
didn't intend to go viral. The way I take that is that you get online hoping that, maybe some people will look, but going viral is a huge thing. Going
Yeah.
viral is millions of views, sponsorships,
Mm-hmm.
money, advertising. Going viral is different than, oh, some people gonna like me, they might give me some tips and some
Right.
donations.
Right.
can I ask the host a question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's been a lot of red flags in her story. She recently revealed that she only created the Cash App because people were trying to send money to her PayPal. But you would have to have a lot of information on that person in order to do that. And she never made that information available. As a matter of fact, nobody knew her. Again, that's kind of like, that doesn't like line up to the timeline of when she created the Cash App and started accepting donations, because
Yeah.
nobody knew nothing about her. She never made the PayPal publicly known.
Yeah.
How
Right.
could you even research a PayPal if you know nothing about this person? So that doesn't like throw out a red flag like she's trying to cover her tracks about something.
It does. It
Yeah, it
does.
does.
It
To me, it
does.
does.
Goose, do you have
I
any?
just, I know I sound like a broken record, but I just think with this story that what is bothering people the most is that in the beginning, it's like she tried to come across a certain way, and that wasn't who she actually was. Like being homeless in her car by choice versus being homeless in her car because she went through something like Jess went through. I think that's the part that upsets
Right.
me, is because I feel like what Jess went through,
It's different.
even though she has said like, yeah, some of it was her choice what she went through, but this person decided to create a channel and to say certain things when she knew that she wasn't living in her car by choice. I mean, that she was living in her car by choice. Whereas, yes, maybe the choices you made just like led to certain things in your life, but like what Ari's doing, she chose to move cross country and move and live in her car, and she had a job. And so it wasn't until she started getting kind of caught, and then she starts saying, well, I didn't ask for money, and I I do have a job. You know, it's like she kind of tried to backtrack once things started to come out. And so that's, I feel like, why people are more upset with this story, whereas she could have even started her channel and just said, hey, so here's me. I decided to move cross country. I've been living in my car because I kind of like the van life, and maybe at some point, you know, I will get my place, or I'll get a larger vehicle that I can live in. So I'm choosing not to rent a place. Every now and then I'll go to a hotel, because obviously sleeping in your car when you have just a small like compact car or even just a sedan, it's still not going to be comfortable versus if you had like a, you know, say like a small little van like Gabby Petito had, or a larger van like a Mercedes, or like one of the Ford Econolines or something like that. So I think I think the biggest thing with this is that people are upset because she came across as somebody who really needed like financial help, when she really was somebody who had a job, had income, didn't even need to be living in a car, but chose to live that way.
And also, I want to make clear, when I say by choice, Tink, when I say by choice, I can't speak for everyone else here, but when I say that she is in her car by choice, is because she left where she was, and that's allegedly to leave a DV relationship, right? But she didn't have to go all the way to California. She chose to do that, right?
Right.
You get
Well,
what
like I said, I'm sure once I, you know, research her more, this is just like my initial, like, I think I saw one video about it yesterday, and then I jumped in this live, and then I was hearing all the stuff that you were saying, and I was like, well, I can counter this because of this, because of this.
Yeah.
I was just trying to, because there's like everybody says, there's so many holes and overwhelming, but like, as I'm like just sitting here listening, I'm reading more comments, and I'm, you know, it does, you know, it is a little suspicious. And I guess I do understand with like people saying that, you know, she chose it, you know. I don't know. I didn't want to just jump on a bandwagon and vilify somebody, you know, right up front. But like I said, as I'm listening more now, you know, that, and, you know, of course my situation and her situation are totally different.
Yeah, your situation, I think, was, and I commend you, you know, I think that's amazing that you overcame all those obstacles in your life. And addiction, which is, my heart and prayers always go out to my brother suffer from it. I have in the past too. But what I will say is that that's my problem with people like this. And just like
Right.
Tony's saying, why now is she saying, now that people are calling her out, now she's saying she never even needed the Cash App? Well, if you're home,
Right.
you need the Cash App, right? You would need that.
Mhm. That's kind of
She
why, like,
also
when
said,
I
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, well, she also said that she hasn't touched a dime of the donations, also.
Right.
That's just a
But
crazy
do
thought.
we believe that? Do we believe that though?
Well, she contradicted that in another video. She's
Right.
and I can't remember exactly what she said. She said she hadn't touched it, but then I think she said she used it to stay in a hotel or
The hotel.
something.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the hotel. Yeah,
So I mean,
Yeah.
That's
that was what she said.
somebody that's constantly contradicting themselves, and like it's
Yeah.
like she uses one lie to cover up another lie. Like
I
it's
agree.
pretty
And to
obvious
go,
at this point.
Go
That's
ahead.
where I was. That's where I was starting to change my opinion, because like I was listening to you guys start to say, well, she said this and then she said this, and I was thinking, with my situation, I lead with my story, so there's
right.
like no way that you can,
And
you
no
know, try
way
and,
do I
you
expect
know,
her to tell her whole life story in her first video or even her second video, or even tell that part. I don't think any creator would tell that part of their story. But to not even mention that you even have a child until somebody puts that out there is also suspicious to me as well. Like, not suspicious, it just has me looking at her sideways. Like, you know, is she not saying she doesn't have a child just to maintain privacy? But in the same sense, saying you have a child, that doesn't mean people are going to go digging. They're digging now because they're calling her a grifter. You know, there were things that didn't add up. But I wouldn't expect for her to tell what happened, like with all these. And I don't agree with that. I when kids come into things, it's very, I don't like it. I
Right.
just I don't like it because it's not something that I would ever do. Let's put it that way. Or if he would have said I didn't block out the child's name or something like that, or if I would have seen that for myself, I would not had even did commentary on that video, because it's a shame now, because now you're right, Mickey. People are going to start looking for her. They're going to be able to go look up the same information and get her, even though he didn't, even though he redacted it. They now people can easily find it, and it does. It's not good for her.
yeah, I will admit what she should have done is, when all of these exposed videos started coming out, she should have scripted out a video and just put it all out there.
Yeah.
You know, instead of trying to cover up this, to cover up that, to cover up this. Even if she didn't have the opportunity because she blew up, she should have been outright and, you know, forthright with everything, because at this point she knows there's people are already finding out. She should have. So that's what's kind of making me side eye her, is now that you know that all this stuff is coming out, why are you not being forthright now? You know what I mean?
Right. And if she had just kind of, I mean, I honestly, I think she probably still could have had a decent channel, even if, you know, you don't have to share everything that you've gone through. But I mean, even just by saying, you know, that she was living in her car by choice, I think there's a lot of people that would still be interested in hearing her story and what she was doing. But I think, you know, she didn't even have her channel for like very long at all, and she was quitting her job already. So I think that made people wonder, like, how can you go from saying you're homeless, living in your car, make it sound like, you know, you need this help, but you have a job, and then you quit your job? It leads people to believe that you most likely have some sort of a savings, because a lot of people aren't going to quit their job even when they have YouTube until they have built up a substantial following and know that they're, you know, for a few months or even a few years, and they know that they can carry themselves based off of what they're making on YouTube. And so I feel like that's probably a big reason why people are concerned, because they're going, wait a second, you know, I don't even know how long she's had her channel for. But I just wanted to bring up one other thing too, because I wonder about the timing too with the, you know, again, I don't know if she went through DV or not, but it does make you wonder, if it's true or not, given the fact that the father was given, custody. And again, I'm not saying that that's, I know that things can be, manipulated in court and stuff like that. But given the fact that it's been 8 years, that's a long time. That's a lot of investigation by CPS, possibly law enforcement and everything. And so, and again, maybe the person that she's talking about wasn't even her child's father. I don't know. I haven't watched her enough. So I don't know if the claims she's making about DB involve him or another person. But I think, I also think that it's cool, when you have a panel like this, Teaya, and you have people come together, it helps people to kind of talk out things and, look at things in a different light. Like with Tink, we can talk with each other and be respectful, and then people can kind of, formulate their own ideas and go, okay, wait, yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe I wasn't seeing this correctly. Or then they can ask more questions. And so I think that's a real good positive of what's coming of this discussion.
I'm very happy that you decided to come up.
So I think that the takeaway is everybody should come online with a healthy dose of skepticism about people.
Yes.
This whole YouTube thing, and then Instagram, TikTok is a kind of a game where people present a facade. We never know what's going on behind the scenes with people. And of course, there's plenty of genuine people on this app. But especially when we're newly getting to know someone online, we should kind of all be side-eyeing in the beginning. Nothing happens fast. When somebody's a narcissist, not saying she is, but let's just use narcissism as an example. You should always, a lot of times with narcissistic relationships, there's a lot of love bombing and things happen really, really, really fast. And then you're in love and it's like, what happened? It's kind of like, that's how I view YouTube. I don't fall in love right away with the people. I let them show themselves after a while. I slow it down. And then I decide whether I want to support them or not. So, you just have to be careful because it's very easy to be scammed online. And so I like this topic because it really explores parasocial relationships and the kind of stuff that can go down online that you just, I don't think law enforcement or people in general in everyday life, and especially a lot of, this is not to age discriminate, but really older people realize the hustle and grind of this thing.
Yeah, that's how parasocial relationships is real, and I want to talk about that more. You watch a creator and you keep it moving. You don't have to hang on every word that they say, and you should always be skeptic of every creator that you choose to support, in my opinion, because a lot of creators have malicious intent, and most of it is driven by money. Fastlane, you have a channel? I cannot find your channel.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can't find. You have a channel?
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot find it. Can you put it in the private chat?
Yes, I can put it in a private chat. Hey, have anybody up here heard of the cancer scam that she was allegedly involved in?
Yes.
No.
So,
are you serious?
Yes. Well, the thing about
this is new.
Okay, so let me.
Okay,
let me tell y'all
I'm about to completely get upset.
Yeah, see, I done did a deep dive on this thing because obviously I have no life. I'm trying to stay away from monkeypox and COVID, to be honest with you. So I kind of be in the house. But the thing about the cancer scam, from what I can tell, there's a rumor going around that someone spoke to either an ex-boyfriend or the baby daddy. It's kind of hard to say. To see exactly. And
okay,
that person
that
told
content
somebody,
creator is he was on my show earlier.
Okay.
That content creator name is Legion, Leakin Legion,
Like,
Well,
Lycan
see, this
Legion,
didn't
I
just
believe.
come from leak. This didn't just come from leaking. This is before this was put out there before leaking. Yes, he said that he
Okay.
spoke with the baby daddy, but there was rumor of this before leaking said that. And what I saw in comments is that someone else claimed that they spoke with an ex-boyfriend, and the ex-boyfriend said that she told she scammed a man into believing that she had cancer or eye cancer or something like that, and that she needed $150,000 to pay for the surgery or
What?
services.
what?
Wow.
I,
But here's the thing, and this is when I say, critical thinking is key. That is a rumor
Right.
from an ex partner. If you get 5 of my boyfriends together, ex-boyfriends together right now, 4 of them are going to say I'm the best woman they ever met, the woman that got away. And one of them is going to say I'm a complete jerk, dog. So I take that with a little bit of a grain of salt.
yes.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna need some more documentation on that.
Yeah. More proof.
Yeah.
I did want to say too, back to, everybody should be skeptical and, about any donation given to anybody. I do want to say that, in the position that I was in, my whole thinking about humanity drastically changed to, there are so many generous people who genuinely want to help. And I couldn't tell you how many people, when I was in my situation living, in my car, who got me rooms, hotel rooms, food, groceries. So it is kind of sucky when you find people who are just preying on people's kindness, because I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for the help of strangers.
Mm-hmm.
To help me get back on my feet. I had to do my part
See,
too,
but
but
you
I
see,
had
that's what
I
makes
had a
you
lot of
so
help.
mad, though. That's what makes
Yeah.
you so mad, because it's people like you that she makes it bad for.
Right.
Okay, that's why you have to look at people with skepticism, because of people like her. You don't exploit these types of situations, because, like I said, there are people who are living paycheck to paycheck, one paycheck away from living in their car.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem that I have with this. It's that you didn't have to lie. I feel like I agree with what Goose is saying. I feel like she is a cute enough woman to where if she just said she was living in her car and she is an van enthusiast, and she wants to live the van life, she would still have a good amount of people following her and subscribing to her. She may not have went viral. Okay.
Right.
I just wish that she would have been honest, or, she should have been transparent from the start. That's just my only problem.
Well, and if people
And
knew that she was living by choice too, in their car by choice, they may not have donated to her, or they may have donated to, say, like a different organization or a different person that they're watching or something. But again, when you act like you're living in your car and it's not by choice, and you're making people feel like somehow you ended up in your car and you're trying to get out of your car, and then you find out, oh no, she could be out of her car. She has the money, and allegedly at some point she hasn't even touched her donations, but then she goes to a hotel, and it all gets all messed up. And then those people are going to be like, wait, what? I thought she was quote unquote homeless. And somebody put a thing in the comments a little while back about how, like, in a description of a video or whatever, she was wanting to bring awareness to homelessness and stuff like that. So again, that also is a little bit different, because again, you're not really homeless if you're living in your car by choice. You may not have a house, a stick-built house, but that's her home. That's where she's choosing to live. She has said that she, might want to get something bigger at some point, but I think there's a difference between being homeless in your car, not by choice, and then choosing to stay in your car for a narrative.
But then again, she also, hold on one second, Pink. then again, another thing that she also said was when she got blasted and all of that kind of stuff, she said that most of the people that were asking her for their money back from Cash App were men who tried to get with her and sent her donations, and then she didn't get with them, so that's the only people that have really asked her for her money back. So I feel like that's important to say too.
It is.
You know what? It's crazy because I really thought that that was her core audience. I thought it was a lot of men who found her attractive and really bought into the story. That's
Yeah,
why I found this panel when I saw this live and I seen it, I was like, wow, this is fascinating to me because I really didn't think that it would be a lot of women that were supporting this. I really would have thought the women would have like seen right through it.
I
You know,
did.
I you know, I yeah,
Well,
I know.
and
I
that's what we're
know.
talking. Yeah,
I
that's what we're
know.
saying is that a lot of us, even people who didn't know about the story, like myself, from what I
Mhm.
learned just right away with her first video, and again, I don't know if it was her very first video, but from what I've heard, it was her first video talking that she was homeless. And then in the next ones, she's slowly letting out that, no, this wasn't homeless by an accident or whatever. She chose to be
Right.
homeless.
Right. But
And there's
but
a
there
lot
is
of
people out there that could relate to because I know it's a young lady on a panel right now. She
Hmm.
she said that it hit close to home. So
yeah.
that's like somebody that's relating to the story because they've
She
been there.
touched on all the pain points. She touched on all the pain
Right.
points that would draw somebody in. She's very captivating for sure.
She is.
But it's there was a point somebody said something that I thought was interesting. I lost my train of thought. Shoot, I'll come back to it. Oh, how I found her. What made me so to your point, sir, I don't know your name, but about 5 or 6 videos in where she said she quit her job and then she went to the Mercedes uh, store was when I went to YouTube and I said, did anybody else catch this? And I typed in Ari scam into the YouTube search bar, and that's when the flood of videos started coming in. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, not that I was buying it from the beginning, but I think that was the turning point for a lot of us to dig a little deeper, though.
Right. Hi, Pink.
Hi, good
Welcome.
evening, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me on the panel. This
Thank
is
you for coming up.
thank you. This has been a very captivating story, and I've been very intrigued with this young lady. I found her at the beginning. I'm a car life enthusiast, so her coming up on my algorithm, like Mickey mentioned, wasn't odd, and she has pretty privilege. So I
Yes,
when she
exactly.
crossed my screen, I was like, oh, she's cute. Let me take a look at her. See what's
Yeah.
going on. She had that title. I'm homeless. So I'm listening to her story, and she mentions that she had 2 jobs. She had been in California. She had 2 jobs. She got fired from 2 jobs prior to the job that she had been in, and she got scammed. She had been looking for apartments, but got scammed in getting apartment, and so she was low on funds. And she may not said it in those exact words, but she insinuated that her funds got low because she had been applying for apartments and got scammed. I didn't know if that meant she had went on Craigslist and people told her, you need to pay this amount of money, you have it, or she applied and got declined. With her history, with her criminal history, she may got a decline, but that's neither here nor there. The I listened, but when she started with her background story, with losing the 2 jobs, hoping she could keep this job because she had a lot of bills. But then she mentioned in her backstory about how both of her grandmothers were jealous of her. So her grandmother / mother was jealous of her because of her relationship with her grandfather. So she didn't like her. The aunt didn't like her mother's sister. And I assume that her parents had drug issues since her grandparents adopted her. So Mickey, you mentioned that there was probably trauma and drug use. I definitely agree with that. Since her grandparents adopted her, that they're probably her mother and father were probably I know she said they were in and out of jail, so there probably was drug use. But she mentioned that the grandmother was jealous of her, the one that raised her. And then when she got to California and she had this kerfuffle with the grandparents that lived in California, she said that the grandmother wanted her out of the house, one, because of the car show thing. She wasn't into that, but that she was young and beautiful, and that her grandmother was jealous of her. So when someone says stuff like that, that makes my spidey sense go off. Like, all the people in your family that are related to you are jealous of you because of how you, that's what we're going with. And she said she didn't have an issue with the grandfather, but the grandfather, when they kicked her out, didn't even want her to sleep on the same street. Like, she was sleeping in front of the gate, and he found out and told her, go smoke your stuff elsewhere. Like, that was really an extreme example from the grandfather when she said that they didn't have an issue. It was the grandmother that didn't like her. The grandmother was passing away, and the grandfather still didn't invite her back in to his home. So that was telling for me as well. And then after 3 weeks of being on YouTube, I quit my job and I'm going to look for a Mercedes. That's when I was like, okay, so my site went totally off the radar, and I'm like, okay, there's something weird going on here, because you went from being homeless, and that's what she said, she was homeless and low on money because she had a lot of bills, and she had got fired from 2 other jobs, and she had got scammed out of money. So she definitely throwed it on thick, and then throwing those cash apps and all that kind of stuff in. She didn't ask, like, please send me money, but you got this cutesy hippie girl. I'm going to the beach in Santa Monica, and I'm drinking my Starbucks, and life is this, that, and the third. Of course, people are going to be like, take my money, I want to help you, because she says she's a damsel in distress.
Right.
So that people want to save her because she has this, I'm a young girl, and she's at 32 years old. I thought she was in her 20s, but she's older. I mean, 32 is not old, but she's older than I thought she was.
Right.
So I just find the whole excuses that people are making for her, like, oh, she's redeeming herself, her past shouldn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. It does matter, because it speaks to your character.
Exactly.
And you're on YouTube, and you're a content creator, and maybe, yes, she didn't ask for people to go into her background, but it's out there now, and to me, it speaks to the type of person that you are. You drive around, you got a DUI, you got a ticket for driving without wearing her seatbelt, and she does that now. If you look at all her videos, she never wears a seatbelt ever, and she got a ticket for that as well in her past. DUIs, I have no
I have no respect for people who drive under the influence. I'm sorry. Look, if you've done it in the past, okay, you've done it in the past, but at the end of the day, if you're that type of person that, like Katie, that's a whole new different situation. But I'm just saying, if you do it more than once, I'm definitely going to be looking at you sideways.
Yeah. Something that both of you guys, you, Pink, and then I think it's Mikey or Mickey, you guys got my spider senses rolling, because both of you said that that you frequently watch van life stuff, and that she showed up on your page. That right there, and then going back to Teaya and me and you going back and forth about you can't make yourself go viral. That's not necessarily true.
It's not.
And the fact that she's showing up on pages exactly about van life, that means she knows how to work some algorithm with hashtags and the background.
Van life is very popular.
Yeah, keywords.
Yeah, so she's that is some manipulation there, because
I would say that nobody can anticipate going viral. That's just my opinion. I don't think anybody can anticipate that. It's always the goal, but you really can't anticipate it, but you can definitely plan. You can try. And the fact that you're right, I agree with you, Ting Ting. The fact that you guys are into van life, and they're saying that
it was recommended. Yeah.
It's recommended. So that means that she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. That's a game changer for me, because when the both of you said that, and I was like, wait a second. So I know a little bit about YouTube. I've been in the community for a while, and I know some, YouTubers and some stuff like that. And I was just like, wait a second, I know how you can try and hop into the algorithm. And for somebody who's just posting a video and it just happens to go viral, but then it's being recommended to specific types, that's not luck. She had to put stuff into that.
Right.
In the background.
Some people that have said they don't watch van life videos, and her video got recommended, and maybe that's because it was popular and YouTube just pushed it. But I didn't think anything was wrong when she came across mine, because I'm always like people that live in vans, people that live in their cars, because I like to see the ingenious ways that they find to do the basic everyday things that you need to do to live, and especially work and live out of your car. So I find it interesting. So when I saw her, it wasn't weird. And like I said, she has pretty privilege. So I'm a heterosexual woman, but she's, a nice looking woman. So I clicked on her video to see what she was talking about. And I was intrigued to keep watching. But then when it got to the point where I was seeing stuff that was inconsistent, like everybody, jealous of her. And then I'm quitting my job after 3 weeks, and all the Starbucks every day. Like someone mentioned, I work full-time every day, and I can't afford to do Starbucks every day.
Yeah.
And you have Starbucks every day. She does have this little warmer thing, but I don't think it doesn't look like it's being used that much. I think she eats out a whole lot. Like it's just things that kind of just didn't make sense to me for someone that was allegedly like low on funds and trying to, make it living in their car. And then the whole Mercedes-Benz, and I don't want to use Mercedes-Benz. I want a brand new van. She turned her nose up at a used Mercedes-Benz. Like most people do van life, they got 20-year-old caravans. Like most people buy. They don't go to a Mercedes-Benz dealership looking for a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. Most people. I mean, I know there are some wealthy people that can do that, but most people that I watch, they buy vans off of Facebook Marketplace for like $1,200, like 20.
Right. Or like a Ford Transit or something like that.
Yeah. They don't go to Mercedes-Benz looking for a van to live out of. So yeah, I was very turned off by that. And it's 3 weeks later, I'm quitting my job because I want to do YouTube full time. And I live out my vacation pay, which she can essentially get vacation pay, because if she had accrued vacation pay, she's entitled to it. But if you've only been working at a job 4 or 5 months, I don't think she had that much where it would be a substantial amount of vacation pay that she could read off of, get Starbucks every day, get hotel rooms.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't pass the smell test for me.
Well, it made me wonder.
Very advanced for a new YouTuber too.
That's what I was going to say is, so one of the things when Teaya first started playing this video, I was like, okay, people were wondering what type of car she was in and everything like that. And so really quickly I went over and I was watching her shorts, and she wears sunglasses in a lot of them, which if she's trying to hide where she's at, that's not the smartest thing to do, because she has a reflection in like all of her videos. So one of the ones I watched, she was wearing sunglasses, and you could see the reflection. She was working at a computer when she said she was at work. And so you could see the reflection of her phone where she's filming herself, but then you could also see the reflection of a computer screen. And so it made me wonder, like a lot of people during COVID ended up taking jobs where they could work from home or from wherever, as long as you have a computer, whether you're helping with like Amazon returns or whatever. I mean, lots of companies went to work from home, or in this situation, work from car, work from a library, work from, a cafe, wherever. As long as you have a laptop, you can do that stuff. But yeah, I noticed like in her car, a lot of people thought she had a Tesla, but the screen is not big enough for her to have been in a Tesla, because a Tesla has a big giant, like almost like a huge laptop screen in it. But it does look like she's in, I would guess, most likely like a Chevy or something like that has a navigation system screen in it, because it's smaller. But either way, I was just wondering if maybe she hadn't lost her job, and that this entire time she's been working for some sort of a company that she's been able to work remotely at. And so she saved up money for that. She started this and then realized this was actually doing well. She had enough money in her pocket to go ahead and quit her job, because she had, if she's going to a Mercedes dealership to potentially buy like a new Mercedes van, I mean, she's got to have some decent dough in the bank or enough money to put down with a job that she has a decent income. So, I mean, for all we know, she could have, 10 or 20 grand to put down from whatever job she's been doing over the last couple of years with COVID. And then
she hasn't been her main, this job that she just quit. She hasn't been there for 6 months because she said she got fired from 2 jobs prior to this one job in the year that she's been in California.
But how do we know that's true?
I mean, she could have been lying, and then again, like I said, with all this stuff that's going on, I made a comment earlier. Like she gets her first AdSense from YouTube today or tomorrow, and with that AdSense, she's probably looking at $10,000, $15,000, $20,000.
We don't know that anything she's saying is true.
Right.
All we can really do, and all anybody else is doing, is speculating. And just like, excuse me, but then there are things that are definitely, I feel, very, very obvious just from me watching her one time. I only had to watch her first video, and I knew this is a very manipulative woman. And I knew, and it's not because of the way that she looked, even though I knew that that's why she went viral, because of the way she looks and living in a car. People are going to be intrigued by that. But it's just the words that she was saying. Then I seen her second video, and I seen a video where you could tell that she was feeling a little bit of, not even a little bit, maybe a little bit of guilt for homeless people. And if you're homeless yourself, this is like her second or third video. If you're homeless yourself, I'm sorry, I'm not going to refer to homeless as they if I'm homeless myself.
Right.
Say, we as homeless people, we struggle. I'm not going to say, wow, you guys, you really need to pray for these homeless people. It's like, wait a minute, what?
I thought that was such a good catch. When
you're homeless too, sweetheart.
Because
go ahead.
She separated it, so the part where she's kind of placing herself above these lower people.
Exactly. Yep.
And that is reflected in a lot of stuff she says, when she talks about the homeless. Like, she's not one of them, but even her words that you caught, she is telling us, I am not like these lowly people that I feel sorry for. There's not empathy there, there's sympathy, and maybe even a little disgust, to be honest with you.
Yep.
And now that
you
guys go ahead.
I'm sorry. Someone posted the house that she grew up in, or her grandparents' house. It is huge.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull that up. Go ahead, you guys. I'm gonna pull that up.
She grew up in a kind of a, I shouldn't use the word affluent. She grew up in a very comfortable upbringing. So the homeless people probably to her are probably below her because she grew up poor. She didn't grow up poor.
And she might have started feeling guilty as well. Like if she
was guilty. She felt guilty. Yeah, you could tell.
And now that you guys are actually starting to change my mind, I'm thinking to myself, when I was, actually homeless, and the amount of generosity of people, like on good days when people just, just from conversation, because talking to people, you meet people, like I said, were very generous. And with her looks and her, little sweetie pie and all of that, she very well could be panhandling and making a dang killing.
Yeah. There's been stories about people that have actually done that where, they have these like prestigious jobs that they work from home at, and then they'll take a couple days and they'll kind of, get some makeup, or they'll go get dirty, like literally like put dirt on them and make it look like they've been out on the streets, and they'll go and sit in front of like a Costco or just far enough to where they can't get kicked off the property, and they'll do that for like 4 hours and they end up making hundreds of dollars a day. I remember somebody got busted, I think it was during COVID, and the guy had made like something crazy, like 60 grand in like 2 months just by pretending like he was homeless, and he really wasn't. He was like a software engineer or something like that. And
wow,
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, the Mercedes-Benz things was the only thing that I couldn't justify. Like, I could come up with points for this, points for that, points for this. That's the one thing, like, I couldn't even fathom. Because even if she was doing well living in her car, I still couldn't justify buying a Mercedes van. You know what I mean? Like, that's that's a lot. That's a
Her
lot.
current
And
car is giving Toyota and Chevy to me. That interior, I have rode in a lot of Teslas, and that car is giving Toyota. I own a Toyota. It's giving Toyota and Chevy
cloth
to me.
seats. Do Teslas have cloth seats? Because those seats in there are cloth. So I didn't think they were Teslas.
No, they ain't got no cloth seats.
Okay,
Well,
yeah,
and
those seats are cloth.
if you look in the back too, behind, like, so she always films in the driver's seat. If you look in the back, you can see the little hanger part, and Teslas don't have those cheap little like hanger parts above the doors.
You barely can find the door handle on a Tesla.
Yeah.
Right. You guys are on point with everything you're saying. And how do you feel now, Tink Tink? Like, I think you were very, and it's not like we're trying to convince you otherwise. You know what I mean? Like, that's
right. No, like I said, this is the second day that I've started to like really look into her. And like I said, like a lot of the stuff I could justify it because I've been there. I could think of other reasons outside of just going immediately to scam. But yeah, as the panels opened up and more people have been talking, and I don't know, just the big thing for me was when they both said that she showed up on their recommended, specifically van life. That to me, that's some knowledge of algorithms. That's some knowledge, and
can you guys see this?
Yeah,
that's the house.
Wow, that's a really nice house.
Beautiful.
So she used to live in nice. So, yeah, homeless people to her are probably beneath her.
And then like when Pink was saying that, she was saying, because I didn't hear all the stuff about the grandmothers being jealous, and then it made me think of when a couple of the videos that I've seen of her talking about how people were just hitting on her. It just, yeah, you don't just get kicked out of your house because, I have family who don't like me, but it's not because they're jealous of me. I mean, it's because I remind them of, my birth mother who they don't like.
I never heard her say that. I never, that's one thing that I did not hear her say, but it is as though she talks about very much how attractive she is and how people always flirt with her and stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, that story in the video where she posted, I think it's called How I Got Here. She told the story about, that's where she gets into, starting in Arkansas. Her grandfather loved her and doted on her, and it made her grandmother jealous. And so her grandmother didn't like her, and then the aunt didn't like her because the grandparents adopted her. So the aunt, which is her, I guess her mother's sister, didn't like her. And then the grandmother, the paternal grandmother, because the dad snuck her in when she moved to California. Dad snuck her in because the grandmother was a mean person. Finally, the house was big enough that she could live in the bottom, and the grandmother didn't know because the grandmother was on the top. And they finally had to tell the grandmother, and the grandmother didn't immediately kick her out, but there was some tension, and it finally got to a head because of some antique car show things or something like that. And she was like, she kicked her out, and it's because she's jealous because I'm young and beautiful. Those were her exact words.
Yeah. And that should show a lot about her too, because that's pretty shallow.
Yeah.
It is. That's
no, you were doing something up in that house that grandma didn't like. Either you were stealing or you was something.
Very weird story. It was very weird. And the fact that was the end conclusion, that the grandmother wanted her out, that she didn't have any issues with grandfather, but then the grandfather is the one that told her, don't sleep in front of our house, like get away from our house. So it was really weird how the grandfather wouldn't even allow her to sleep in front of the house. Like,
well, see, I could understand not wanting your granddaughter sleeping in a car outside of that affluent house because of neighbors. What I can't justify is the fact that you said that the grandmother is passed away and the grandfather still won't let her come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Sounds like she
That.
did something though. Like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
otherwise you would think
Yeah.
that the grandfather would let her come back, unless she did something that's kind of unforgivable, as maybe towards the
Girl there.
grandmother or something like that. And
Something that happened because now the father is not even
mute.
talking to her. Like she painted her father as selfish. She was like he didn't come into her life until she was 19, because the grandfather that loved her didn't want her to know who he was because he was a bad influence. And so she met him at 19 and he was selfish, but she ended up reaching out to him because she needed a place to stay. But now that relationship is gone as well. So
Now listen to this. Listen. She's telling all of these things, but she couldn't even tell that she had a kid. She's telling all of these personal details about her life, but yet she couldn't talk about how she had a child, or she has a child that lives in another state. She didn't have to go into details, but if you're telling all these personal details about your life, you could have said that.
But it makes other people look bad. These stories make other people bad. That would make them look bad.
Yeah.
Say,
I think that's the angle. She's telling a bunch of half truths, like that
Right.
didn't verify, and all of these half truths paint her in a very good light. There's no way to get around the child. The child is very triggering for every last person that's heard this story. Whether we agree, whether it was exposed or not, we are all triggered by the fact that there's a child out here who may have been harmed in some kind of way.
Yeah.
And there's no getting around that.
Yeah. So do you guys, I want you guys to say your last things that you would like to say in conclusion, but do you guys think that it's wrong? I know how you feel about it, Mickey, but do you guys think that it's wrong, Pink, that they put out all of that information about her child and things like that?
I think.
Oh,
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Did you say Pink or Pink? I'm sorry. I thought you said Pink. I'm sorry.
I did. Go ahead.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I feel like when you're on a public platform like YouTube, unfortunately, you kind of put yourself out there for people to be nosy about you, especially if they have suspicions that you're not on the up and up.
Right.
So, unfortunately, being in this type of business, especially if she wants to be an actress, those people are going to dig in your background. So I don't feel sorry for her that she got doxxed and this information came out. But I do think the child and the dad need to be left alone. They did not ask for this. And I hope that the child is doing okay and not being affected by this situation. But I do think that people need to know who they're donating to.
I agree. Go ahead, Ting Ting.
I think that they could have left the whole kid situation kind of out of it. I think I don't know, because it's just so touchy. And what if that little boy doesn't even know that story? And now it's all over. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wish they hadn't brought up the child part of it. As far as like the documents and all that. I mean, but I guess it would have come out anyway. She should have got ahead of that. The moment she started seeing that she was being exposed, like I said, she should have sat down and maybe did, set up a live stream, like a pre-recorded video or something, and she should have got ahead of that.
Yeah. So. How about you, Goose?
I think that when people show things online, I think that can be a better way to do it, where you redact maybe more information and you don't lead people, because I know that some people will say, oh, it's public information, it's not doxing. But when somebody is on a platform and they aren't using their real name and you make it to where it's easy for people to go and find it, I think that's an issue. I think that they still could have got the information out by redacting, like where, like say what state it's coming from, what the case number is, maybe what the last name is. Like they could have put out information maybe in a I don't know, a better way,
Mm-hmm.
where they still could have told about what was going on, whether that's not showing the paperwork, but just reading it or showing it and redacting stuff so that it doesn't make it so easy for every single Tom, Dick, and Harry to go and hop on and go to this state and then go to this town or, you know, county or whatever and search the information. Because again, you could put the family in harm's way. You know, all it takes is for, if this young child is 8 or 9 years old, all it takes is for somebody, you know, an older sibling of a friend of his to find this. And next thing you know, then they're telling the little boy, oh, well, I heard your mom did X, Y, and Z. And the little boy doesn't even know about it. Or people are calling up the dad, or people are calling up the grandfather or an aunt or an uncle. And so I think that's where it gets too extreme. I think, you know, showing the information, but having it heavily redacted, I think would have been smarter, because you could still get the point across and not put an entire family under the radar, which I think is what isn't good.
Nikki?
I totally agree with the last person. You couldn't have said it better. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely something that I feel like is inevitable when you're a creator, but I still think that there's certain parts of it that should have just been left out, if that makes sense. I just don't think that reading all of that stuff, I don't know, I feel like it's something that they're doing because it's content. I'm sorry, but for a creator, it's content.
I agree.
You know, that like this man went almost viral just from exposing that.
Yeah, and see, that's the part that I'm like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Like they don't have good intentions. I think you have good intentions, and that's why I'm on your panel. I think you have great intentions, and that's why I'm here.
Well, thank you.
I don't feel like these men have the best interest of the child.
Well, Lycan that was just in here, I guess he spoke with the father.
Yeah, he said he spoke with the father.
Yeah, and it's you know, and unfortunately, it's content, and you know that's what creators are going to do. But I do feel that it is inevitable. Like people are going to dig into your past if you're a creator, and you start becoming, the more and more popular you start becoming, the more people are going to dig into your past. They just are.
Yeah.
And if she cares, she's gonna have to get ahead of it. If she cares, that's the key point. I don't know that she cares. I don't.
Right. Do you?
I don't think she does, based on the responses that she has. I don't think she cares.
She makes
it's
money.
like more, it's attention, whether it's good or bad. It's money now for her.
Yeah, and it's bringing more traffic to her channel. I don't think that her channel is going to be ruined by this.
No, not at all.
I do not.
No.
I think people are still going to continue to support her. They're still going to continue to, you know, donate whatever, maybe not to her Cash App, but some other way. You know, I feel like because she's very, you know, privileged, and even though she's definitely been caught lying, people are still going to support her.
Right. And a lot of people that do like follow people and stuff like that, a lot of times they don't look at, you know, a lot of people have like good intentions when they're watching. And so they're not going to like, you know, most people, unless you've been on YouTube for a while or TikTok or whatever, and you've seen a lot of this stuff happen, they're not going to think, oh, should I check this? You know, it's not until you've been on, you know, social media for quite a while that you start to see, you know, say red flags or whatever. And then you feel like, oh, maybe that should be checked or whatever. And so I think a lot of the people that are following her, and they're probably also following other like van life people or homeless people channels or something like that. And so they're not going to think like, oh, should I check this? Unless maybe they see something in a comment below the video or something. And so, you know, next thing you know, she might turn the comments off or something like that. So I think that
here's the thing. As a creator, the bigger you get, people will dig into your background. Even if you don't do anything wrong. Jaclyn Hill didn't do anything wrong, but they dug into her background.
Right.
Jackie Ayanna didn't do anything wrong, but they dug into her. They will dig into your background because when you're a creator, you are a public figure. And people are always going to find something that they feel that you're doing wrong because they're haters. They could be jealous because you have so many people following you. It could be anything. And that's just inevitable as a creator. I don't care who you are. I don't care how unproblematic you are. When you become a creator, you have to understand that people are going to dig.
Yeah.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
definitely not my style of how I would have done it. I get why people are exposing but I get why people are exposing for various reasons. Some good, some bad, some, this stuff happens. I was just bothered by the child thing. The criminal history I didn't care about, but the child thing got under my skin.
Yeah, that it does. Anytime kids are involved, it gets under my skin. I don't like it. I'm just presenting what's out there, and for people to be able to make their own decision of whether you see things for what they truly are or you don't. But you guys are absolutely amazing. Like, I'm so happy that you guys came on here. What are your last thoughts, Pink?
Well, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be able to have this discussion. Because, like I said, this is really ever since the stuff hit the fan. Like, I've been wanting to have a discussion, but it's been so polarizing because there's so many people that are like, "Quit judging her." Da, 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 da. You have like a meaningful discussion with people because it's just like one end or the other.
Yeah.
So, I just look forward to see what unfolds in these next few weeks. If there's other information that comes out, and I appreciate you allowing me to come and have this discussion. It was a great panel, and
thank you. I appreciate you. Can come up anytime. I'm still gonna cover her. So anytime you are welcomed.
Thank you. I just found you tonight because of this, and I subscribed. Yes,
I'm so happy.
Videos on her. You came up in my algorithm.
Aw, I'm so happy, and you can come. You are always welcome on my panel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. How about you, Mickey?
Well, thank you for allowing us to come on, and I'm glad that you put her name in the description so you could get new subscribers, because I'm all about every YouTuber that I is quality getting some money off of this. So
right,
yes,
thank goodness you found some new followers. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. What is your educational background again? I forgot.
So I'm a licensed clinical social worker with my own private practice, and I have experience, and I still work a little bit in hospital social work as well.
That's amazing. That's just amazing. You can come up anytime as well. I would love to hear your expertise on a lot of the things I discussed. So you are welcome back on my panel anytime.
Cool beans.
Thank you guys so much for coming up. How about you, Tink Tink? What's your last thought?
I appreciate you letting me come up. Like I said, I was kind of emotional in the beginning, but it's hard to really convey emotions through text and typing and stuff like that. But really talking it out, hearing myself say the things that I'm saying and then bouncing it off of other people. That's that's great that in the climate of the world today that we can still have conversations like this, because this is the only way to, you don't change people's minds by screaming. We have to have, civil conversations. And I found you through the Katie Joy and the Vaughn coverage. And so, I've been following you through that, and I've every bit of, the way that you carry yourself. And I appreciate letting me come up, even though I was a little hot in the beginning. But like I said,
you are very respectful, and you're welcome on my panel anytime. I love when people disagree with me. I love it because I'm not an echo chamber. I want people to disagree with me. That's, you know what I mean? If people agree with me, that's great. But I like the fact that you came on panel and disagreed with me. And even though I still think that you still have some questions, you may still want to support her, and that's still your choice, and you're still always welcome here no matter what.
No, I'm good. I like I said, I'm good. I wasn't really, like I said, I didn't have a dog in her fight. I just was kind of hitting the fields with different aspects of her story that I could relate to, but
right.
I don't plan on contributing to watching her. Like I said, she could have reasons for whatever, but the amount of inconsistencies that have been shown to me throughout the night, it's not somebody that I want to invest. I don't have the money to invest, but I don't want to invest time either.
Right, exactly. How about you, Goose? What's your last thoughts?
I just have two things. So the first thing is I think this is a prime example of why it's important to have civil discourse, because like you were saying, Tink Tink, it can be really hard sometimes when we're either leaving comments or we're commenting in a live. Like our words can be really misconstrued and they don't show emotion. And so somebody can just read a comment wrong and then go, oh my gosh, like this person's going after me, or maybe it's coming across wrong and the other person's really not trying to have it come across that way. But it just happens. It's just things that happen when you're on YouTube. And then the second thing, I'm just going to say this because I know Teaya is humble and she won't, but she's so close to 5K. So if you can sub up to her, please do, because she deserves her 5K. So
hit the like.
Just wanted to say that really quick. So hope you guys all have a good night, though. I'm going to hop down.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you guys
Bye,
all
everybody.
for coming up here. I appreciate all of you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And you're always welcomed here. Always. That was such a good panel. I'm so excited because nobody ever wants to come up on my panel. I think people think I'm mean or something. I don't freaking know. But thank you guys all for being here. I had such an amazing time discussing this. We're going to keep talking about this. I will keep you guys updated. I will keep talking about this. I think that there's a lot of things that are going to be revealed about this woman, because I think I just think that this is a very malicious, manipulative woman, you guys. And hey, Steve, how are you? I definitely will. You can come up next time. I normally don't open the panel that much, but I was so happy to have such great women on panel, educated women. Thank you for the super chats as well. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Thank you so much, Couch Potato. It's a fast lane, and I had to log in my main channel to donate. Great conversation. Have a great night. Thank you so much, Fast Lane, for coming up. I did put your link, and I'll put it in the description as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mickey. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I love you guys so much. And that was just a great discussion, but I just think that there's going to be more things that's going to come out about this young lady. And I'm not going to be too hard on her. I'm going to try to be and think as critically as possible. I'm kind of more or less waiting for her response and what she's going to say to all of these things. But what I will say is that please be careful with who you choose to give your money to, who you choose to donate to, who you choose to support. Because at the end of the day, you guys work hard for your money, okay? And it's important to give your money to people who really need it, or for people that you support because you support them for who they are. Like when you show creator support, by giving super chats, which is amazing because creators do work hard. Some don't. Some do. It does cost money to maintain a channel, to offer you guys good quality. That costs money. I literally had to go get this little thing. Let me show you guys. You probably can't even see it, but it's this little tiny thing. It looks like this. It looks like this. I had to go get a new one because I have an Apple computer, and Apple doesn't have certain plugs. What do you call these kind of plugs here? Is it an HDMI plug? Whatever. They don't have them. So I had to go buy the original plug thing, and it's $59. So yeah, we as creators, StreamYard costs money. So I get when you want to support somebody because you appreciate their hard work. But when somebody gets on the internet under false pretenses, HDMI adapter. Thank you, Tony. I had to go buy, this is a cheaper one. Well, Apple, being the luxury computer that it is, it just stopped working. So I had to go get the original one, and it was $59. Okay, I had to go to Best Buy and get it. But the point is that that's just a point of saying that in order to offer good quality to you guys, it costs money. You have to invest in your channel in order for it to grow, and it's just reality. I want you guys to be able to, I want to be able to offer you the best that I can. But the point is that just be careful with who you choose to donate to, who you choose to give your hardworking money to. And what bothers me the most about this is that there are so many homeless people out there, and being so exploitative over homeless people and lying, I have a problem with that. So I will continue. Don't they, Steve? For real, like they do. Everything, you just have to buy everything for Apple computer. However, I love my Apple computer. I've had no problems with it. Knock on wood. Expensive, but worth it. So I'm just going to say that just be careful with who you choose to donate to. And it's people like this All In with Ari that makes it harder for people who really need it. Like people like Miss Letitia who needed donations. People like, it just gives people who really need donations a bad name, including people who are struggling, homeless people. So please understand who you're supporting and just be careful. Don't believe everything that you hear from creators, especially when it's coming to a very sad story such as that. If you have questions, question everything. And I'm talking about even about myself, but I'm not on here telling you guys a sad story. I'm not doing that. The point is, be careful, because all of these creators, a lot of creators here on YouTube, they're only here for one thing, and that's money. And let me tell you something else. If you are on YouTube for just money, you're in the wrong business, because it takes a long time to earn money here on YouTube. And even when you earn it, and like she did in the fast way, it still eventually blows up in your face, because this has to be your passion. And this is my passion. So just be careful with who you choose to support. Be very picky with who you choose to support, especially when you give your hard-earned money to somebody. Okay? Just be careful. That's all. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you. This was a great conversation. We will continue to talk about All In with Ari. I will leave all of channel links in my description. Thank you for all of the super chats. Sorry if I missed anyone. I apologize. But when I'm up on panel, that's what I'm focused on. So thank you to everyone who gave super chats. And thank you so much to everybody who shows me support and who's always there. I adore you guys very much. Thank you to my panel guests, and thank you to my amazing mods, Sparkle, especially because she was down here holding the fort down. So I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing rest of your night. Remember how beautiful you are, handsome, whatever. And I love y'all. Deuces. Love y'all. See you tomorrow. Have a good night, you guys. If I can find what I'm looking for. All right. Love y'all. Deuces.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit, so sharp, so